We live.
Okay. Well, she'll okay, we got fade on that. What's up, Bob? What's up, bro? I sent you that set. I sent it to you. Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it.
I got it.
Good. I tell you how to work the drop down, you know, because the shows come on weekly, Sunday through Wednesday, and then we have, but the music stream is 24/7, doesn't
Okay.
stop, no commercial.
Okay.
We good?
Yes, sir.
Hey, let's get it. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to the worldwide family. Peaceful Sabbath today. Y'all, as we get about our Abba's business today, as we continue to eat the knowledge of truth. So yeah, today's lesson, spiritual holy diet. So y'all, we're going to bring this from a whole nother angle so that we get pure clarity of what Paul was speaking of in Galatians 3:16 and what was transpiring with Abraham living to 99 years before he was circumcised. So we want to move you out of this fleshly thought process of you thinking the Most High want us to continually to be chasing our flesh. So spiritual holy diet, y'all, we're going to get into today. We're going to bring this from a whole nother angle so that we may understand.
All right, family. We're going to get this opening prayer.
Yes.
And it is with the Most High's permission.
Yes, sir.
And it's in the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior and our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach.
Yes.
But we know him as Jesus the Christ.
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 141st chapter, it reads, Yahweh, I cry unto thee.
Yes.
Make haste unto me. Give ear unto my voice when I cry unto thee. Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense,
Yes, sir.
and the lifting up of my hands as the evening sacrifice. Set a watch, O Yahweh, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Incline not my ear, or incline not my heart to any evil thing,
Yes.
to practice wicked works with men that work iniquity.
Yes, sir.
And let me not eat of their dainty.
Yes, sir.
Let the righteous smite me. It shall be a kindness. And let him reprove me. It shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head, for yet my prayer also shall be in their calamity.
Yes, sir.
When their judges are overthrown in stony places, they shall hear my word,
Yes.
Yes.
for they are sweet.
Yes.
Our bones are scattered at the grave's mouth, as when one cutteth and cleaveth wood upon the earth. But mine eyes are unto thee,
Yes, sir.
O Yah,
Yes.
the Most High. In thee is my trust. Leave not my soul destitute. Keep me from the snares which they have laid for me,
Yes, sir.
and the gins of the workers of iniquity. Let the wicked fall into their own nets,
Yeah.
whilst that I, withal, escape.
Yes. Yes.
Hallelujah! Selah!
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Oh,
Powerful,
Yes.
bro. As we get about our hour's business, y'all know how we get down first. Want to definitely ask continual prayer for the house of Jacob, Sister Jada. They put away her sister yesterday. Homegoing was yesterday. So we just want to have continued prayer because it's a long road, y'all.
Yes,
Yeah.
You know, you got to turn them sorrows into happy memories.
Right.
You know, then the laughter will be crying laughter, so to speak. People see a tear come out of your eye, but you're remembering a good matter that happened, you know, a good event with your family members. Also, Brother Moses laid his baby sister to rest today. So I want to ask continual prayers for that brother and his household. Also, Sister Stacy Young, her mom is out of the hospital. She's in the clear, but her dad still needs further prayer. You know, got a few issues going on, y'all, so we need to still pray for the house of Sister Stacy Young. Also, Sister Karen here in the class, her mom is a little bit under the weather, and she's asking for prayer for mom as well as cleansing of the mind of mom. To know at a time like this is when you need the Most High the most.
Yes.
Y'all, we have to continue to pray for one another.
Yes.
And also, y'all, just want to send out a shout out to our supporters that continue to support the ministry and the radio station. Thank y'all so much for what y'all do for us. But we got any questions or concerns before we get started? Too bad.
So far, so
well, definitely, we still send the prayers out to our Sister Hannah.
Oh, no doubt,
House of
Sister
Uriah.
Hannah, House of Uriah.
And Akda over in the Holy Land.
And Akda, thank you, bro. Thank you so
Sister,
much,
what is
brother
your name again?
Akda.
Well, yeah, Hannah, she just
He's over in the Holy Land in Israel. Bro, been over there many years. I believe since about 1970, 71. He been in the Holy Land.
Sister Israel.
Yeah, and Sister Yisrael, his wife, just want to send up prayers, you know, to strengthen that brother, you know, in his spirit and soul. Y'all, we have to do that. If we don't do that now, who else gonna do it?
That's right.
And look, he's on the other side of the world, 8 hours ahead of us, but the prayer will get there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Anybody else we got possibly missed, bro? If we don't, we'll remember it as we go through the class. But today's lesson, y'all, spiritual holy diet. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through some things to always let you know so we don't get sidetracked. And what I mean by that, the flesh of beasts, we'll get to the point we won't understand the spiritual nature of flesh on beasts that the Most High used for sacred, I should say, for sacred events. You know, you may ask, what is badger skin doing on the Ark of the Covenant, the most holy relic that ever hit planet Earth? What is badger skin doing on it? See, some that don't know and understand these laws, statutes, and judgment would say that makes the Ark of the Covenant defiled. No, it don't. You don't understand when he's talking about what you put in you. It's not what you put in you that defiles you, it's what's come out.
That's right.
Now, the only thing that come out of you that defile you is law breaking. To teach law breaking. So what does that do for the diet of Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy 14? Absolutely nothing, because unless we being here in captivity can find a Hebrew Israelite shop, market, under the Messiah's name, and it says that, and it said guarantee 100% clean like the Bible say, we wasting our time.
Right.
So we have to understand when you're in captivity, you're going to be surrounded by certain things you have no control of. You're in the world, but you're not what? Of the world. So y'all, we want to make sure we're not of the world, and we don't hate catfish more than just eating it. If catfish don't clean the bottom of that ocean, you got dirty fish you can't eat.
Right.
If vultures don't clean up that road, kill that squirrel you rolled over on your way to work, and you thinking about it when you get home, that dead squirrel gonna be still right there. No, the ravens done had their way with that squirrel. It's a few tail feathers right there of fur.
Right.
That's the only thing left.
Yes,
You like, man, how did they devour it like that?
Yeah, a squirrel is just a rat with a fuzzy.
That's all it is, bro. Them Ravens like it slow, bro. Well, y'all timing must have been perfect. You all right? Why you didn't take the elevator, bro?
Go ahead.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, all right. I heard that. You say I got it. So y'all, we're gonna get right into this. We're gonna pick it right up, y'all. Y'all know how we get down. Our high priest, our one and only high priest after the order of Melchizedek, Yeshua HaMashiach, locally known as Jesus Christ, that brings the law forth, male, female, rich, poor, free bond, Jew or Gentile. Because every person that was just named has a soul, and these commandments were added to that soul when it was birthed. So y'all, to understand this spiritual holy diet, y'all, we're going to pick it right up with the Messiah in Matthew 4, 1 through 4. Then we're going to read all of Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter. And we're going to tie this thing in, y'all. We're going to get into the book of Barnabas that's going to break some of these things down so that you don't look at a beast we're not supposed to eat and then think that you should have it nowhere around you for certain issues. No, they were designed for a certain purpose. That's why it was 2 sets of pigs, male and female, and 7 sets of deer, male and female. It was that reason they had to get on the ark. If you don't understand that, you're going to be chasing something that you shouldn't, and everything will be based on how clean my meat is. And you can't get your meat clean in captivity unless you're growing it, manufacturing it, cutting it up, and the FDA going to have to have an input on it. And it still may not be what you're looking for, because you're looking for it for a priest examination under the order of Aaron, and we way past that, we way out of that. But first we have to make sure that this is clean to receive that spiritual food. Shalom, mister. How you doing, Brother Cornelius? So let's get it, y'all. Matthew 4 and 1 through 4. 1 through 4, yeah.
Matthew 14.
No, Matthew 4, 1 through 4.
Where you getting 14 from?
Yeah.
Put a 1 in front of mine.
No,
You wrote it down wrong.
That's how you do it.
Hey, look, that's I've been trying to get my brain for stuff, and y'all been changing.
That's why I'm like, where you get that from? Because I know what I just looked at.
I'm looking at that Psalm 141.
Right.
I know 14 and 1.
Well, right below that, the Romans is 14, so
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all.
Don't bail him out.
Yeah, okay.
Damn, you on my side.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro, and let's get that.
All right, man, let me get the 4. I ain't messing with you, Dan. All right. Hold on a second. All right, everybody there? We're in the book of Matthew, chapter 4 and verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Then was Yeshua led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
So how was he led up?
Mhm.
In the wilderness, y'all, which we are in the wilderness of the people. So don't get it twisted in your mind that we're going to be gathered from here and taken to another location. No, that was for the first gathering, because all 12 tribes were in Egypt. So everything came out of Egypt, but now Egypt has become the entire world with its Babylonian systems all over the world. So now the gathering is from the 4 corners of the earth. So if we have to go to a wilderness spot, then that means it should be a gathering from 3 locations, not 4. Because where are you going to be taken to? If we go back east, it's some people east. But the people at home in Jerusalem got instructions. If you be in Judea, what you have to do? Flee to the mountains. If you be in Judea. What about those that are not in Judea? Where do we flee to?
Right.
See, so that's why we have to understand the world. We're in the wilderness of the people now. Y'all, crazy doctrines. It's just like when the Messiah in Matthew 16 came to Peter. He said, who do men say I am? Some say you Jeremiah. Some say you John the Baptist. Some say you Elijah. He said, but who do you say I am?
Right.
He said, you the Son of the Most High. The power sent by him. That's who you are. He said, flesh and blood didn't reveal that to you. So what we want to go over today again is what flesh and blood will not reveal to you. See you put him in the gym today, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's my Levi, yeah. Go ahead.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
Bragging about how he did 100 push-ups the other
Yeah, he
day, so
was, wasn't
all right.
he? Yeah.
I can do 100 push-ups one at a time.
Yeah.
Over the
In
course of a
100
month.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, Mr. Yeah, I go right.
All right, the book of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 2.
Yeah.
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward in hunger.
See, so now, 40 days and 40 nights, y'all. I want y'all to understand 960 hours. The Day of Atonement required 24 hours. This 960 hours. We know Moses did 960 hours. Elijah fasted 960 hours. Enoch fasted 960 hours. Y'all, I'm talking about in the flesh. 3 days with no water, you're facing death in this flesh. 2 weeks with no food, death is knocking at the door. But this is 960 hours, and this flesh has no power over it to start to, I would say, contaminate. You know, or to die off during those 960 hours. But now, when you come out of the spirit, because you're supercharged in the spirit, the flesh is saying, I'm hungry. And that's when the devil attacks. Y'all, the devil will attack on the day right after the Day of Atonement or almost when it's ended. He must attack like that because he want to see if you're greedy. If you're trying to feed your soul physical food, you can't feed your soul physical food. It's not there. It's not going to manifest. It's not true what we call soul food. You know why? Because we're going to take soul food the wrong way. That's flesh food. Read what it say soul food is in that dictionary real quick so people get some understanding or pass it over. I want y'all to just understand what people may be looking at the flesh and calling it soul. M-N-O-P-Q-R, okay. Right. Yeah, that's S-O-U-L, you know, boy, shit, that was in kindergarten. I learned them ABCs.
It almost sounded like you were singing the song.
I had to sing it. Well, look here. Soul brother, a fellow Negro of the male sex.
What?
Soulful, full of or expressing a deep feeling, profoundly emotional. Soulless, devoid of sensitivity or capacity for deep feeling. Soulmate, one of two persons compatible with each other in disposition, point of view, or sensitivity. Now what I want to do is get to soul food. Where is that? Pass it up. Okay, soul food. Hold on. Soul brother, soul food, soul lit.
Said soul food. What's
Yeah, I'm looking for it. And let me just Google it real quick.
Brother Danny,
Yes, ma'am.
can I tell you, you're gonna start off with an excellent prayer today.
You like that prayer? Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
Isaiah requested that.
Examine footsteps.
The Most High requested that, not me.
Okay.
That's
Well,
where I
he put it on
opened the
your
book.
spirit. You shared it with me, and we shared it with the class.
Okay, good. Soul food. So this says cuisine. Soul food is an ethnic cuisine traditionally prepared by African Americans originating in the United States, South. What does soul food consist of? Some meat, yams, macaroni dish, greens, fried up, cabbage, mustard greens. Most of the meats offered are either pork, chicken, fish, or usually these are fried. So now what we see is soul food, but like you'll also see in some versions, I'm gonna find it in here though, when it explains soul food, it says, you know, also foods like pork, you know, this, that, especially chitterlings, or what we call doo-doo noodles. So, yeah. but they're being eaten. And see, the people will get that misunderstood, and they'll take soul food to church, which is violating the law. Your place of worship have violated food in there, and you're saying it's good for the soul. No, that's not soul food. We're going to get to what soul food is today. That's soul flesh food. It kills the flesh because it's out of line. But we're going to clear all this up today. So did you finish the verse 4?
No, we
verse 3?
We've got about Jeremiah. We got to pray for him as well.
Jeremiah.
Yeah.
They had the triple bypass.
Yeah.
Boy, he had to be stopped from going up and down the steps 3 times in a row. Was showing out.
I'm sure you're right here.
Yeah, and wasn't breathing hard at all. But we want to pray for him that he don't get into his Jack LaLanne mode too early. Yeah, take your time out, Jeremiah.
That's what was
Yes,
going on
sir.
with my mother.
He said,
My God told her to do something. Her legs swole up, her feet bigger than her calves.
No, I'm looking for what it describes as. I got this. I had the same thing. I'm saying the dictionary used to spell it out what it was. So I'm looking at it again because we used to have it. Soul food, I know it's there because you would look up and it said traditionally eaten in the South. It's that tells it, but it gets down to a little bit more. But when you attach soul to flesh, then there's no separation because one has to die. When you think, because you put a holy name on it, it's going to save this. It's not going to save it. There's no way you can take this flesh into everlasting. It can't dwell there.
No.
When it's all said and done, all flesh gonna die.
Boy, look here. All flesh. Let's get it. What else to say, bro?
Back in the book of Matthew, chapter 4, and we're in verse 3. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of Yah, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written.
What is it?
It is written. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yah.
See, so when we say a soul food restaurant, that's just food for the flesh.
Yes.
Right.
It has nothing in there because it's abomination as it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that come out of the Most High's mouth. That's what we have to live by, whether you have no food to put in your stomach or not. You still got to live by the words of the Most High. You can't do or think about things, if this flesh go like this because the mark of the beast is coming. So it's going to require that you take the mark of the beast to eat, to feed your flesh.
Right.
But there's no forgiveness in this world or the world to come for taking the mark of the beast. Go ahead, sis.
And if we acknowledge God's word, even when we're hungry, it shifts our attention off of our fleshly hunger to our hunger for God's word.
Can you do it for 960 hours?
As the Lord leads.
This is what we're talking about. We're talking about, see, the Day of Atonement is to get us in check. He said, if you can do 24 hours, you on the right path. That's 24 hours. 24 hours minus 960 is what? Who math is it good? Well, that's how many more hours you have to go. And we're already got speed dial ready for the pizza man to come. You got DoorDash on that. It's 11:59. There it is, 24 hours. Ding. Yeah, bring me 2 Big Mama pizzas to go. And I want to order them wings. And
But the thing of it is, God won't give us more than what we can handle. Even with fasting.
well, he ain't gonna put on you more than you can bear. So what we're talking about, if you tap out at 450 hours, you pretty good. But what we're talking about, you must be able to bear what he says you must be able to bear, and that's automatic because you got to take that to the death, and that's the keeping of the commandments.
But then,
Yes, sir.
I got this verse 1, and then this same verse is in, I think, that's 1 and 12. And then it's in Luke 4 and 1.
Right, we're going to all of them, bro.
Okay.
So we'll be good. Yes, sir. We're in the right spirit today.
Okay.
So you're good, but we're going to Deuteronomy 8th chapter. Nerf this. Okay, now nerf found it. Is chitterlings a soul food? Chitlins or chitterlings are the small intestines of a pig, typically braised in a large pot with onions, peppers, vinegars. Chitlins are soul food delicacy. See, but we have to be careful because they'll change the names of delicacies. Like, what is calamari? What is calamari? Calamari. What is it? Calamari. What is it? Squid or octopus? See, because you changed the name. What is caviar? Fish what? Fish eggs. So you're eating the offspring before they hatch. But see, notice all these things are delicacies to the world. What is escargot? Escargot.
Snails.
Huh?
Snails.
See, most people saying, what did he say? See, they thought that was a Seville going down the street. We're going to escargot. Yeah, yes, sir. So, but it ain't that. Escargot is snails.
My brother used to call my daddy car an escort. Escargot and everything.
Right. So y'all, we have to understand how they'll switch up the game on us and call it something else. Give it kind of an elegant name so you'll eat it. You know, and you won't trust it. Like veal. What is veal?
Baby calf.
It's 6-month-old lamb. The script say nothing eaten under a year.
That's like squab. What is squab? That's pigeon.
Pigeon.
Yep.
Oh, see, but what we're talking about is pigeon on the list. Is it a bird of prey?
I don't think it is.
Is doves birds of prey? See, so, but what is their specific use? If it's for to eat, you can eat. If it's not for to eat, you can't. So we're talking about what's on the list because the Bible does not mention what birds you can eat. It just tells you the ones you can't. And it says it can't be birds of prey, meaning they kill their own food. Like an eagle or a vulture or a raven, you know, they kill their food. So they're on the list not to eat. So anything else that don't kill their flesh to eat, then we have to re-examine it. We talk about neck bones. Most people, you know, get their neck bones from a cow or whatever they get them from. But you want some real neck bones? Get you a little giraffe. Now, it cheweth the cud and it has a split hoof. It's illegal.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna have a pot big enough for them.
Well, right. But see, people will look at that and don't understand because of what the requirements for the law is. Cheweth the cud and a split hoof. Giraffe meet both the requirements. So if you want some serious neck bones, you want enough to feed your family.
Yeah.
But I don't know where you're going to find it at, though. That's what we're talking about. Unless you go over to Hamitville. Okay, y'all, Deuteronomy 8th chapter. So what we want to do is, because the Most High say, as it is written. But if we had kept on reading, you to see Satan got into the conversation. It is also written. See, so what he does is he going to try to trick the Messiah just like he tricked us. The first thing it said, the tempter came, tempting him. He said, if you be the Son of God.
Right.
See, so that's the deal. You know, the Messiah wasn't going to prove it to him. He went right back to the law. I'm going to show you how I'm the Son of God. I'm going to go to the law. I ain't going to play no games with you. You know who I am. You know where I used to be. But, you think because this flesh, this earthly flesh is on me from my mother, that I done fell off since we throwed you out of heaven. You think I done fell off because I got earthly flesh on me. Let's get some more.
Right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8. And we'll start the reading in verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Everybody there? Let's get some understanding, family. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do.
Shall we do what?
Observe to do.
See, it's just not quoting them. You have to observe them. Right. And observe means to go over with a fine-tooth comb so you understand that I can't make a mistake with this or we begin. Man, what you think he really mean when he said don't do that? See, we can't get into that game. There's no observance then. And then what happens is you fall into a debate then. Well, to me, man, personally, the way I feel, I think it mean that. Right. No, if you observe the commandments, it spells it out without an interpretation because 2 Peter 1:20, the scripture is of no private interpretation. Right. It don't need your help.
If I step on your toe, will you feel the same?
Probably not. Well, if I got some steel toes on, I would. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do. That ye may live.
That we may do what?
May live. And multiply. and go in and possess the land which the Most High swear unto your father. And thou shalt remember all the way which the Most High thy Elohim led thee these 40 years in the wilderness.
How many years?
40 years
Look,
in the wilderness.
it was only supposed to be a couple days journey to Mount Sinai. See, this is what we're talking about. We're in the wilderness of the people now. We're still circling. People clowning, don't know what days the feast days are on. Then when the feast day do come up, they decide at that point they're going to wreck your mind and tell you, no, y'all finna do this on the wrong day. Well, when you found out early, about an hour ago, what we going to do then anyway?
Hey.
See, he went back to get a prepared kingdom for a prepared people.
Yes.
Yes.
When we do these feast days, we have to be prepared.
Yes, sir.
You're hosting 200-300 people. You can't decide that day we gonna do it tomorrow.
Right.
You have to acquire venues.
Right.
You have to get food ready and prepped and ready to go. So we do what anything, because all of it is a forecast. Now, Oxmanu out of Ohio up there, he gets the word from Jerusalem. Soon as they do the first sliver, we know at that point is 8 hours ahead. Before that part of that cycle gets to us, it'll be 8 hours. Mm-hmm. So we're inside the 24-hour range, no matter how we do it. Y'all, so we good on how we Colossians 2:16.
That's it.
We make sure nobody can judge us on why we doing what we doing, because we can explain ourselves. If you can't explain yourself on why you're doing a feast day, it's gonna be a problem. And that means you ain't got it together in your soul yet. Your flesh is trying to control how the feast goes and what it's, because it's hungry. It's here there's going to be plenty of wine. Swallow wine. See, if your mind is there, swallow lamb. Swallow whatever's on the menu. See, if you come there and you ain't ready to swallow no word, it's going to be a problem. So, y'all, today we're talking about swallow word.
That's right.
There's spiritual food today.
That's right.
So that's what we want to get ingested today, so that the flesh may live a little bit longer. It allows the flesh to live a little bit longer. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 2.
Yeah.
And thou shalt remember all the way which the Most High thy Elohim led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee.
To do what?
To humble thee. And to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart.
In thine flesh.
In thine heart. Whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no.
Yo, it took 40 years to get us to finally recognize, okay, because look what you're looking at, spiritual deals. Where can you walk with the same shoes on for 40 years and the heel don't wear down?
Right.
Or the sole ain't paper thin? I'm talking about your clothes, no deodorant stains under them for 40 years. Drawers don't have to go in the emergency drawer. You know when you get a new 3-pack of drawers, you check your emergencies and you start picking through them. You like, ain't no elastic left on these, and you throw them out, and then you move the last good 3 pair of drawers you got over into emergencies. See, these are drawers you don't wear when you don't want to be caught in an accident. You can't wear emergency. They for cutting grass. Working on cars. Absolutely. They can take all the sweat you can give to them.
Then they can be the rag.
Right, then they be the rag. Yeah, you just start, look here. So that's what we're talking about for 40 years though. No wear and tear is just letting you know. I'm just trying to show y'all what they expect when you get over here. You're not going to want for anything for years. It's not going to wear out. I'm going to give y'all a little taste of that in this flesh to let y'all see what I'm talking about. Y'all just come through the Red Sea. Y'all was baptized then, and y'all, I'm just trying to, that was spiritual baptism. Now I'm just trying to have y'all understand the spiritual life where nothing wears out. Boy, you wear any kind of shoe. You can have the best gaiters, Jeremiah. You wear them same gaiters for 40 years. Yeah. Them soles will be so thin, you step on a quarter, you can say, this 1968. I can tell. I can feel the year on it.
It ain't going to take 40 years.
Yeah, I can feel that, yeah. Them soles will be toilet tissue thin, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Let's read some more, bro.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
And he humbled thee. And suffered thee to hunger.
Right.
And fed thee with manna.
What he feed us with?
With manna. Which thou knewest not. Neither did thy fathers know.
So manna wasn't nowhere around. Even thy fathers didn't know about manna bread. Go ahead.
That he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High doth man live.
See, so right there, he sent us heavenly bread that we didn't even have to form, didn't have to grow no wheat, didn't have to put nothing together, didn't have to mix nothing up, didn't even have to cook it. It came prepared.
First fast food.
Boy, look here. Go ahead.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
Thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years.
Now y'all think about that. Foot did not swell. Y'all have to understand what this is saying. My foot swole just a couple of hours from cutting the grass. And them old boots that I won't throw away. But they couldn't throw it away today. Tired of them same old boots. I'm hanging on to them for no reason. Go ahead.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
Thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so the Most High thy Elohim chasteneth thee.
See, so he chastens the soul. He's not concerned about the flesh. It has to die. See, like your father chastens you for this flesh so that this don't end up in the penitentiary or in the graveyard too soon. Your father will try to prevent that. But the Most High is after your soul like that. I must chasten your soul. It gets your flesh in check. It starts with the spirit in your soul. It ignites God's commandments, and then you send them to your flesh. But we got it the other way around because the world says the flesh feeds the soul. So you're going to have a wicked soul. Because you're going to convince yourself that doodle noodles is good to eat for the soul. Why wouldn't they do it if they call it soul food? Look, do you know they used to give them away or throw them away at Cry Packing House right down here till they found out? They said, man, some Negroes eating these things. What? Now they have a price tag on them in the grocery stores, what used to go directly to the dumpster.
That's right.
So y'all have to understand, then they put the name soul on the front of it. Don't do nobody else like that.
No.
Let's read some more.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Most High thy heir, to walk in his ways, and to fear him.
See, and keeping the commandments means you won't break one. It's just that you know what the fix is. If thou doest this, then thou must take 2 turtle doves. Or thou must go into a closet and pray, and you correct that. It's 1 John 8. We first have to acknowledge our transgression. If you let the word sin come out of your mouth and you can't point to where it's at in the Bible, sin is called transgression of the law, and that means there had to have been a blood sacrifice. If there was no blood sacrifice, it's not sin. Now, iniquity is practiced sin. Iniquity is knowing it's wrong, but you bring it into your system like it's regular. It's like your daily routine now. And this is what I'm going to do. And y'all, we get to the point that where we'll find ourselves saying, God ain't worried about what you eat, and you'll hear these things. But keeping the commandments, because all of us going to break commandments every day, is how do you fix it? And the keeping is to repent. That's what keeping means, to turn away from it. Because if you do it again and say, I'm sorry again, what your earthly parents would do? No. See, you said you were sorry the last 3 times. No, I'm getting you today.
You're going to be sorry.
You're going to be sorry. Right. Look, because they give you a certain amount of time before they have to tighten that flesh up. And before they start, you start hollering, okay. Okay to what? Okay, I'm going to do right now? Why is it okay now?
Right.
See, we got to say okay when the punishment ain't there. And then he spares us that punishment. Let's get some more.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
For the Most High thy power bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley and vine and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of oil, olive and honey, A land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarcity.
Without what?
Without scarcity.
It ain't no short bread, y'all. The supply don't run out. And the Messiah showed us that when he gathered up the leftovers, when he fed 5,000 with 2 loaves and so many fish. It don't run out, y'all, in the kingdom. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not lack anything in it. A land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass. When thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless the Most High thy power for the good land which he hath given thee.
So when you're eating spiritually and eating fleshly, when you're full, then you thank the Most High. See, when we're talking about prayer, that's why you have to be careful. See, if you're a glutton and you pray before the meal, and then at the end of that meal, you rub in your belly at a feast day. Anybody got any balanta? Who got some of that acid reflux? What that's telling is you've eaten too much too fast. That's right. And you put too much food in, the acid can't break it down quick enough. So it starts to come back up. And you get that taste in your mouth like a Belch White Castle. If some of y'all know what I'm talking about, ain't nothing like that. I don't care, you can gargle with gasoline, but that Belch White Castle ain't going away for 3 or 4 days. It's going to be locked right there. What else to say, bro?
Verse 11.
Yeah.
Beware that thou forget not the Most High thy Elohim in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
And see, y'all always say judgments and statutes. See, you have a commandment, and then you have judgment about that commandment, and then you have statutes that help you out with it. See, like Paul, you got David and Solomon will write statutes in Psalms and Proverbs. So those are like statutes. They're breaking down the law, like you just read the scripture. You know, I would not eat with a wicked person, and these the reason why. Those are statutes. It's breaking the law down for you so you don't have to go outside the Bible. But it's coming from a perspective of men who lived it, and they're breaking that law down for you. And then you make a judgment off of the matter based on the statutes that you have. So, like if you say you want the Most High to punish somebody that was evil, what they did, Lord, punish them like you did Uzziah, the whoever he may have been, that whatever that guy name was, when you put earthquakes on his whole region around there. I believe they deserve this punishment. But you can't send the Most High's wrath on nobody or the police because they pulled you over with bad stickers on your plates. Put that earthquake on them, Lord. I was heading to your feast day and they pulled me over with bad stickers.
Right.
That don't still stop you from doing the feast day. You just ain't going to be doing it with us. Right. But you're still required to do it because you left the house in that situation. Should have been on the passenger side or in the back seat of an Uber. But you can't send tornadoes down there because of that. So just like in like manner the courts do it. Every attorney or anything that they're doing, they'll say, like in the case, Your Honor, of Roe versus Wade. So now the judge look at all of the casework from Roe versus Wade and see if it's the same thing that you're speaking of right here. And he said, good point. A good judgment point from that perspective, because we punish people based off of that assessment. So it was legal, it's in the court system. So if you're saying this situation is just like that, then judge, we're asking you to address this like you did Roe versus Wade. You know, so the Most High do it in the same manner. You just can't send wrath on nobody because you messed up. Right. It's not to use this as a weapon. Right. Like you often hear Jacob say, it's good I don't have that power because I'll be splitting heathens' heads wide open every day. Everybody be looking like split top butter loaf bread, just right down the middle.
You'll be like Jacob in here.
Yeah, right. So y'all, we have to be careful that just do is what just do, and it means it's called perfect hatred. So you understand that David spoke of that in Psalm 139, 1 and 2. Perfect hatred. You know, you must have, that's what he had for Goliath, was perfect hatred. Yeah, put down on the end anymore there, pass it on around. Go ahead, what you got?
Verse 12.
Yeah.
Lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied.
See, and what I want to also explain, like when they said pray after you have eaten, what they gives thanks. Thanks is like say, thank you, Lord. Like you may pray for him, Lord, send me this. And when they come to you, say, Lord, thank you. So he's saying the same way with food. You pray over what's there. Lord, bless the hands that prepared it. Please cleanse any impurities that may be involved with this. I'm asking this blessing from you today. Yeah. You can pray over your food, but the problem is if you're a glutton, what do you say after? Can you say thanks after you food? See, because if you doing like this, and somebody see that, they're immediately going to blame it on the meal of a feast day. Right. See, you brought that in here. See, they told you, just get your first plate and then you come back up. Mm-hmm. But you kept doing like this to the people. And they piled it on. That's another piece of lamb. And then you sick. So now it's questioning how was it prepared. No, you just became a glutton. See, the scripture tell you if you eat too much, stick your finger down your throat and throw up. Yeah. Get that pain off of you because you won't be able to sleep. It'll be like a baby with colic. And a baby don't know what to do, so you have to assist that baby. And then when they throw up that milk, boy, you know, that you can't wash out or nothing. I don't know what kind of throw up that is. But that's mixed up with that where they may have just drank too much out of the milk and they're overloaded. The only way is to kick it back out. So the Most High say, go do that, not in front of everybody, but go do it on the side somewhere where they can't see you doing that. Because you shouldn't let nobody know that you're just here to eat like that. You know, because you're not here to eat spiritually. When you're eating spiritually, a lot of times if you're moving around, a lot of times you see most of us, we don't eat till almost the event is almost over. Because you're riding that spirit. Let's get some more.
Verse 14. Then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Most High thy power, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage.
And that's what we did, y'all. We were right back in the land and forgot how good we had being in Egypt. See, and it keeps pointing to Egypt because Egypt was just not slavery. Slavery could fit into two different realms. It could fit into indentured servitude, where a man, you know, he had to work for 7 years and then his debt was paid off. So his debt was paid off. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a manservant or a maid servant. 7 years and you done. But bondage means it's generational. It's going to go for years of the same process till the Most High is satisfied. Like your parents tell you, go in that room and don't come out till I tell you to. Right. Come out early, what happened? See, men think they can come out of Deuteronomy 28 and go to another land, but you're going to find it there. It's going to reach there. Them chains run long. Yeah. So don't come out of your room early.
Right.
Go ahead. What else to say, brother?
Verse 15.
Yeah.
Who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where there was no water. Who brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint. See, y'all see what's in the wilderness. Read what's in the wilderness again so we get our mind straight that if we go to the wilderness, this is what we're going to expect. If you believe we're going into another physical wilderness, what we going to expect right there? What did it say was in that wilderness? Who led thee through the great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents. What was in there? Fiery serpents. The devil and his boys on a spiritual level, but snakes and things that's be out in the wilderness. Like you go camping, you have to be careful where you put your foot down, don't you? Yes, sir. They say maybe some water moccasins over. You got to be careful. There's water over here, and we're in Missouri. This type of snake is here. If we over in Saudi Arabia, you got to look for cobras. Go ahead. What else to say? And scorpions. And drought. Right. Where there was no water. See, and that got Moses in trouble because there was no water in the wilderness. And the serpents bit people that were disobeyed. So that's how Nehushtan was created. And it's called the cross. In Numbers 28, you'll read about it. I believe it's Numbers 28. I'm going to double check. In 1 Kings, where Hezekiah, 2 Kings 17, Hezekiah had to destroy it. We move Nehushtan, which is the cross that the Pope has, that he walks out with that staff. That's Nehushtan.
He still carries it because he wants you to still look up to it. Mm-hmm. So no, we don't do this. Nehushtan, we have to get out of the way, but we were to look to Christ like that. In John 3:13, we have to look up to Christ the same way we looked up to Nehushtan to forgive your sins. Go ahead, what else to say?
Who brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint.
Right.
Who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, and that he might prove thee, to do thee good at thy latter end.
So y'all, the wilderness is just preparing you for the latter end. So you understand it's you're worthy of what you're about to receive, so that you don't play it. You don't play it, like you have no concern about it. You know what I mean? Like, remember y'all, we had spoiled children in our neighborhood. They got everything. New bike every year, but they'll jump the steps with a new bike and bust the rim out and don't care nothing about it. Drag it back home. 2 days later, he done got a new one. When that granddaddy died, now you find yourself building a bike. You got an old rim you don't want. Inner tube got 300 patches on it. Might well throw that inner tube away.
Right.
But that's what we don't want to have to go back to, y'all. We had everything. We had our own nation. We had our own priests. We had our own doctors. We had our own lawyers. We had our own Navy. We had our Air Force of angels. And we looked at them weak nations and said, but they get to put clothes on their God. It's a statue, but they get to see their God every day. And we turned what we had in for that. Now we over here and calling this nation beast, but you turned to a beast. They didn't come over there and get you. You did what you were doing in the Holy Land. You were doing where you got sent to. So I'm going to send you to where your behavior is like. So you'll be comfortable. Don't that make sense?
Yes, sir.
The police send thieves to jail, don't they? The judge, they're sending you where you're comfortable.
Right.
Everybody in there likes to do what you do.
Right.
You just going to have to guard your Roman noodles. You're going to have to guard something else. Or they're going to pull some Roman on you. Practices, I should say. Go ahead, bro.
Won't be a noodle.
Right. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 17.
Yeah.
And thou say in thine heart, my power and the might of mine hand have gotten me this wealth.
Y'all see that? And this is what we get today. I heal myself. I do all of this. As soon as that breath get cut off, just, Lord have mercy.
Oh, Lord.
Who you talking to? You calling on yourself?
Right.
Who you calling on? See, once you get to the point you feel so exalted in this dying flesh that you say, I did this. Lord ain't did nothing for me like this. Where'd you get that breath from?
Right.
How are you person? Did you pay a bill for that?
Right.
Because if it was about buying breath, everybody would be through. Your children, G-Baby back there would already, her credit would be bad on breath. Because G will be saying, look, I want to put my breath in my baby's name. My breath credit done got a little bad, so I'm going to put it in her name.
Yeah, but build her credit
up. Right. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 18.
Yeah.
But thou shalt remember the Most High thy Elohim, for it is He that giveth thee power to get wealth.
It's Him that giveth you power. Real quick, read me a little bit of that Psalm chapter 1. Read me that Psalm 1. And we just going to see where the power will come from, that you get wealth. A fool and his money going to do what?
One.
Yeah. Psalm 1 through 8. Is it 8 verses?
Psalm chapter 1.
6, yeah.
Psalm chapter 1, verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners,
all right,
nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Most High.
What is his delight in?
In the law of the Most High. And in his law does he meditate day and night.
What does he do?
Meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaves also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
Whatever he shall do what?
Prosper.
See, this is the true prosperity doctrine. Because you have to keep laws to prosper. You just can't say, I just say, Lord, and neighbor, and a check was in the mailbox.
No.
Oh, so that made you prosper. And then I gave all my tithe. I gave the house note and the car note. And you know them folks ain't called me yet.
Oh, they
You got
gonna
2
call.
months to go. This just month 1.
They
They
gonna
call
call.
in 3 months and say, where's our payment? See, so what happens is they tell you to pay tithe makes you prosper. No, what then? What about the rich? How will they prosper? They already rich. Go ahead, what else to say? But we're going to give me a little bit of Joshua 1 and 8 as well for a second witness on this. We'll say you're going to prosper. Go ahead.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
The ungodly are not so.
What are they ungodly?
They are not so. But are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Most High knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish.
Now give me a little bit of that Joshua 1 and 8, then we're going to get right back to that Deuteronomy and finish that off. Who got it?
I got it.
Go ahead. Don't grab it, bro.
The book of Joshua, chapter 1 and verse 8.
Start verse 6 through 8.
The book of Joshua, chapter 1 and verse 6. Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land, which I swear unto their fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and very courageous.
See, y'all, we have to be very strong and courageous. You can't send a coward dog out into war. A coward dog barks backing up. That ain't gonna do you no good if somebody after you, is it?
Nah.
Look, the leash going the other way. You like this, come on back up here and get it. Get up there. Wait a minute, you trying to go home. Get back, that's why I got you out here for protection.
His tail so far.
Boy, look here, boy, look
He
here.
got a beard.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, bro.
Boy, crazy. Be strong and of a good courage, for unto this people shall thou divide for an inheritance the land, which I swear unto their fathers to give them.
Right.
Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law.
According to what?
All the law.
See, y'all, the law is a focal point. You can't get around it to please the Most High. See, so when you say the law has been nailed to, he fulfilled the law. What does that mean? See, we just read the beginning. There's statutes and judgments too, and there's another thing called the prophet. It say the law and the prophets. It say, no, he come to fulfill the law and the prophets. There's Isaiah 66. Still must be lawfully performed. It's the second coming. How you going to have Matthew 24 and just say we're done with sin? Don't make sense, y'all.
Right.
Go ahead, bro. What else to say? Shalom, my John.
Family.
Shalom, Sister Ruth.
I had somebody tell me,
Shalom, nephew. What's up? What you got in your hand right there? Can I get that?
I had somebody tell me that the law of Moses was done away with.
Right.
And I said, so I can steal from you.
Right.
He said, no, the law of Moses. I just stopped talking.
Yeah, at that point you can't, because at that point flesh is their own now.
I just stopped talking.
Because they rather say God's law is done away with, but I'm going to exercise the law of the land on you. See, notice how they just want to put flesh food on him, not soul food. See, because the flesh is not going to be at judgment day. The soul is going to be at judgment day. It's going to bow down. It's going to be in perfect health. It ain't going to have no high blood pressure. It ain't going to have no gout. It ain't going to have no gas problems that is visible. It ain't gonna be none of that on Judgment Day. You're gonna have a perfectly fashioned, immortal soul that has to account for what it's done and allow this flesh to do. Because your soul allows it to do it. Let's get some more.
Continuation of verse 7.
Yeah.
Which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest.
That you may do what?
Prosper whithersoever thou goest.
So what we have to do, because there's a law of tithing. So to prosper, you have to do that accordingly. You can't just throw in a pile of money, like they said, they cash in much as a treasury, but that widow only had 2 mites, 2 pennies. She threw them 2 pennies in there and say, that's more than all of this wealth right here. All of them 2 pennies, because them 2 pennies was given with faith. If you got money, you'll open up charities and just get with your account later. So where'd that money go? Oh, we went over there and started a boys club. Okay. See, it don't mean anything because it's not from the heart. You're doing it for the world's sake so that it attaches to your name. But charity, like 1 Corinthians 13 talk about, if I know all wisdom, if I have this. Paul is not saying he have all that. He said, if I had all that and it wasn't true charity of why I'm sharing this, he said, I might as well have not done it, period. If it's not for edification of the Most High, you wasting your time. It's not true charity. If you peel off money in front of somebody and it's a homeless person there, here you go, player. Go and get you something to eat. You got some children at home, get them something to eat too. Some Happy Meal. Here, I'll tell you what. And then you, see, that's how I get down with the homeless, bro. That's how I do things. Is that according to the law?
No. You have your reward.
Yeah, but because you get a call right there and you say, hey, this your job. They say you got fired. Hey, homeless man, come here. I need to talk to you. You want all that back. Or you can't get it back. Me and Tuba saw a bruh on Union, and you know they grabbed the hot corners. He looking rough around the edges, real rough, y'all. We take care of him a little bit, and we say, bruh, pray to the Most High, may he have mercy on you. Right. He said, yeah, I really need it, cause that boat killed me last night. At that point,
you can't take it back.
Reach in the window and get that back. No, because see, he was more honest than anybody. He told me, this is the real reason I'm out here. See, that's why you have to be careful what one hand do and you think you're feeding the poor. If they put themselves in that position, you can't bail them out. That's why a beggar's life is not to be counted as a life. He's basically reduced to begging because he gave all his money away on a gamble.
On payday.
On payday. Gone broke on payday.
Can't even get to work.
Look, the whole boat was just on his mind. He just hearing them things when he was cashing his check. And they put 400 in this pocket and 20 in this pocket and say, I'm only going to gamble this 20. Yeah, right. Well, why you got 400 in the other pocket?
Winning both pockets.
So y'all, at that point, me and Tuba saw exactly what it was saying. Once you give it to him, it's gone. You didn't give it to him based off of how he's in that position. We didn't say, bro, how you get homeless like this? Right. We didn't. We just said,
I ain't homeless. I just been on the boat.
Yeah, right. So at that point, though, but he didn't reveal that until further conversation. Right. But at that point, we just like, bro, you're going to have to shake that loose, bro, because it's going to get cold here in St. Louis. Or you're going to have to get to Florida. You ain't going to be able to stand out here like this and give those boat tails when it gets down below 30 round here.
Boat tails.
It'll get down to below 0 round here.
And that's because that's us, Daniel. Another individual might have heard that story and be like,
yeah, you could have, but that's not charity.
Right.
Because I didn't have no list before I gave it to him. Now let me check. Now I see you out here. You look like you had them pants on for a week. That's a bad mark. It looks like here them shoes look like that. And then I tell you what, you fit all the criteria of on bad time. You can't do it. If you say, I feel something right there, and maybe I can get him jump started, just maybe this little conversation, that because he revealed his problem. That's the main thing, y'all. So if we see him again, back out there again, then we could still choose to give him something. Right. Or we may say, no, bro, you look like you've been back on there again. Yes, sir.
Hey man, y'all be at the same place as I be.
Right. That's what
They told me. I was
yeah.
like, man, golly.
So y'all, and like I say, if you seeing one of them receipts hanging out of his pocket that they let him on the boat receipt, you like, no, I can choose not to give it to you.
Right.
Or hopefully, you see me again and you just said this. But y'all, we cannot dictate how you're going to give other than but the scripture. Because he's only taken from us scripture. He don't go over with the rich. When he said, I want this from the whole house of Israel, he said, the rich shall not give more and the poor shall not give less. I set the amount for y'all perfectly. I'm not going to punish the rich because they may have done right. You may have been on the boat. So when I ask for my fair amount, you better have that fair amount. That fair amount. Or I have to move you over to beggar status. Poor is different from a beggar. Poor is an economic status. Poor willing, I'm strong enough to get back to work. I just lost my job. So I'm not asking you for nothing. I'm not saying, do you have any spare money? Who has spare money?
Never seen that.
Huh?
Never seen that.
It ain't even spare in your ashtray because it's later going to be used, ain't it?
Right.
So that's the difference, y'all, when y'all read that Sirach 40 about a beggar. It's not for life because once you find yourself in that position, you're under another man's authority and will. It's going to be rough on you, especially when you move in with them or something like that. And then at one point, you'll see they'll say, well, look, I don't know what you're going to do. Well, my mama and her auntie coming here.
So you got
And
to go.
you're going to have to find somewhere else to go. Where I'm going to go? Oh, that means you done got comfortable here living for free. You're going to have to go somewhere because I can't let them see I'm harboring you. I wasn't raised that way.
Right.
And take them pictures too you got in the room. How you got pictures? You living for free. Get them pictures too. I don't want nothing left of you in there.
Nothing.
Your mama gonna know today.
Boy, look here. Go ahead. Where we at? We back in...
Back in the book of Joshua, chapter 1 and verse 8.
Yeah.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, and thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
So that church doctrine of teaching, just give tithes and you're going to prosper, you can't have good success like that. Right. Because you're expecting something. You think you can purchase grace. Yeah. Grace is unmitigated favor. You know you don't deserve it. He said, I'm going to give you a little grace today. Once you fix your mind, you think you can purchase grace, you're heading for the lake of fire. Because you think the gift of God can be purchased with money.
A lot of people, when I file my taxes, and some people know how you be waiting. They get they offering right there when it's time to file their taxes.
Right there.
So they trying to get a deduct. They trying to get something for nothing.
See, but this the deal. Tithing has laws. So if you say the law is done away with it, how are you requesting tithes?
Right.
Tithing is lawful.
Right.
There's a law that say give this much, and you can only give upon your increase.
That's it.
Right.
If there's no increase, you don't give.
Right.
But you can only do that for 3 years, even in the scriptures. Like even this land, if you open your own business, you get 3 years to fail. After that, you're going to have to change up and find a new business. This is not going to be successful. You can't eat, nor can you pay the land. Now, you got a Jerry curl shop and chicken wings on the side with waffles. If that keep failing, you got to come with something else.
Right.
It's not working. You get 3 years, according to the script, to get something going to where you can contribute righteously. But if you in a failed business, that's a problem.
Jerry curl shop, dog.
Yeah.
I keep chicken wing business.
Look here, boy, no, because they done found out. Your syrup that got mixed up with some 10W40, and some people that got sick.
Right.
But that's all we just saying, y'all. Self-employed, you must be able to government when you let them know this is what I'm doing. There must be, we're going to give you 3 years for it to bounce back and to show a profit. That's why the Most High say, give upon your increase. Taxes is usually an increase time. But it's only an increase for the people that say, I'm going to put it in the bank. But tax time for us, half of it is already spent.
That's not an increase.
Look, when you sign the paper, half of that's already spent. Because you negotiate. Can you put on there, I gave some socks to them over there, put that down in. I work from home and I use that. Can you put that down? You're looking to get an increase. And notice how they play this, y'all. They have their feast days right at the end of the year. Christmas, New Year's, and then when tax time comes, you're trying to pay for all of that. Now, why would you go get Leroy that new Nintendo 6005? Do they even do Nintendo anymore?
Yeah.
Okay, so you done got him the high thing, and rent ain't been paid. So to see him happy and homeless, you think that's a better move.
You can't play the game.
You can't go nowhere just because everybody else is going, and you can't pay the cost to be the boss. Or you're going to be calling from where you at. Hey, dog, man, I must have been tripping, man. Go by there and see if did I leave that porch light on? Call me when you get over there. No, dog, it ain't on. Shit, they done cut it off, and I'm up here calling. Shit. Damn.
You going home too.
Yeah. Boy, look here. Go ahead, keep your
All right, family, we're going to be back in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, and we're in verse 18.
Yes, sir.
Give everybody a chance to get back over there.
Go ahead, bro.
And it reads, But thou shalt remember the Most High thy power, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant.
That he may do what?
Establish his covenant.
That's the only reason he giving you wealth is to establish his covenant, not your own. Not the doctrines you want to promote. I gave you this wisdom and knowledge too for my covenant, not for you to steal from it and start your own. Go ahead.
Which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day. And it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Most High thy power, and walk after other gods.
And do what?
Walk after other gods. And serve them. And worship them. I testify against you this day that ye shall surely perish.
That you gonna do what?
Surely perish.
And notice what he's saying, y'all. Just because you have on a pair of Nikes, that ain't worshiping the devil.
Right.
It says you have to walk after them. See, it's a process with the devil. The devil have rules. You just can't say because you, oh, bro, I see you got them Nikes on. You know, Nike was the sports guys. And oh, you got some Adidas on. Or is that Adidas? That's the Roman god for this. So you walking in abomination,
You got on mingle garments.
Well, look here. See, but it's all flesh. You know what I'm saying, man? See, so because if we ask you to see that label in the back of your drawer and say fruit of the loom, then you got mixed fruits in there too back there on the label.
Mixed fruits.
Well, yeah, mixed fruit, apples and oranges. And,
That can't be it.
Tossing the salad.
boy, look at tossing a salad, boy, on that label. Go ahead, bro.
Looking mighty cool in polyester blend.
Yeah, polyester blend and cotton. See, but that's all things that cover the flesh that they attack. They attack what's already dying. It's like when you just keep saying, man, I bust them down. Man, I told them about the Lord. I laid them down. Man, they was so through. But you ain't saying they was built back up.
Right.
Well, you just wasted your time. You just helped death go to death.
Right.
You didn't try to resuscitate them. You didn't do no CPR on them. Slow them out. Let's get some more.
Verse 20.
Yeah.
As the nations which the Most High destroyeth before your face, so shall ye perish.
Oh.
Because ye would not be obedient unto the voice of the Lord your God.
And what we're talking about is obedience. He don't need no help with breaking down his instructions. Every sin in this Bible, there was blood shed for, and he tells you exactly why. If an individual does this same thing, blood is going to be shed the same way. And when I talk about walk behind, like, because abortion and the sacrifice of Molech seem like they so close together, that you would say, oh man, that's just sacrifice of Molech. No, it's not. Molech, you had to walk behind him. The pregnancy was planned. It's like when she come home, I'm ovulating. He leave work and get home. And then when they like, yeah, Molech gonna love that conception. See, both of them is planning this. So when she have the baby, it's taken and give to Molech. To sacrifice, they walk with it. Abortion is totally different. Yeah, you killing the conception, but the deal is off of a mistake. I thought you said you was on the pill. I thought you said you was fixed. See, now it's a problem. So what do we do about this? But move it to another level now. Now we got to think about sin now. Do we kill the conception? See, because married people could sacrifice to Molech. Married people, on most occasions, don't go to the abortion clinic because they're married. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So there's difference. You got to, things must line up accordingly so that you don't make up your own rules and decide what's bad. And you'll do it to them. No, see, all that Molech worship, oh, you ain't going to make it from that. You know, and you start to think about that. You can't let a person judge you on what they don't know. You just have to point, show me what that's like that. Yeah, I can show you what bad, like Onan who pulled cordis interruptus. He was supposed to, everybody say, see, that's masturbation. That ain't got nothing to do with masturbation. There was a law, if your brother died with no children, you are to take his wife and bear her seed, and that child would not belong to you. It's your dead brother's inheritance. That child will have his name, and all what he had to pass on goes to that child. Even though it was sired by you, you have no connection to, if he dies, it don't come back to you. It goes to his next offspring. That's the way it works. So when Onan did what he did, he actually went through half of the process. He just got the goods, and then he didn't want to deliver his part. He like, no, I ain't going to do that. But I've been wanting to do that to her anyway, even when she was married to my brother. So the Most High said that thing was wicked. That has nothing to do with whooping yourself like it owe you money. Those are two different things. Let's get some more, y'all. Go ahead. Where we at?
That's it on that.
Okay, let's get some Romans 14. We're going to start about verse 11. And then y'all going to get to a little bit of this Barnabas. Because what it's going to do is compare men to certain things in Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14 that we're not supposed to eat. Spiritually, we have to look at individuals like a hyena. Like you hear Jacob always use the term human hyena. So there is a such thing called a human hyena. I'm not talking about a chimera or something. I'm just talking about in their spirit. Right. And they make up. Look, we call both men and women dogs, don't we? You bitch, you dog. See, it's the same. It's the same. I should say mammal or same kind. He's just calling you a four-legged dog. And you're saying you're a four-legged dog that now can walk on two legs. See, and then we name them after those certain things. See, that's where it come from. Bitch is actually a female dog, ain't it?
Yeah.
But when you call a man a dog, what it mean? Girl, don't you go there. Don't let him fool you with that recycle Hennessy. He ain't the truth. He a dog. It ain't. You don't even have to explain what a dog is to that woman. Just from your tone of voice, she knows he don't obey.
You got R&R.
Look at R&R in the Hennessy bottle. Yeah. Don't you go for that. That's a dog. So basically, all his techniques is just to do you like a dog would do. Jump in this yard, that dog's in heat. Leave that dog, go jump in the next yard, leave a load there, and go jump in the next yard and leave a load there. That's why they call him a dog. And why they call women a bitch, and you can look it up, it's not a curse word, it's just what you call a dog. When they get pregnant, female dogs get what you would call bitchy. They'll snap at you. They'll bite at you. They're moody.
Everybody know that.
Boy.
So, hey, so when Yeshua called that woman a B word,
Dog.
did he really call her a B word?
Well, she called herself that. Well, he said first that we're not to give the children's meat unto the dogs. And basically what he meaning is not specifically, but notice how she answered him back. She answered him from the spiritual perspective. He didn't look at her like you some whore. He looked at it to the point because she started asking. He eliminated the flesh from his thought process because of how she responded. She said, but yeah, Lord, the dogs eat from the crumbs of the table. So I want y'all to understand that. Then that means a dog is in your house. And they get your leftovers or whatever crumbs fall off the table, they eat. So these dogs are righteous because they're eating what you eat. Right. Now, if you throwing a pork chop down there and you throwing some macaroni and cheese in there, that dog gonna have all the diseases. You got high blood pressure. Dog gonna have to get his foot amputated. See, because if they eat from the crumbs of the table, that's what she's saying. Israel has the meal on the table, but you know what? Being a Gentile, I'll eat their crumbs. I'll eat what's left over for them. It's like when Paul was preaching every Sabbath, and the Messiah was preaching, and the Israelites didn't want to hear it. It said the Gentiles were standing out there. They said, can we hear it next week, even standing out here? Revelation 11 chapter. The outer court is set for who? The Gentiles. But they're going to be there. They're like, we'll eat the crumbs of the table still. Because you know what? We are not going to die. It's Israelites over there like Judas Iscariot that ate at the Passover. He's going to die like a dog. But we eat them crumbs, them leftovers. So it was a spiritual meaning, not so much that he lashed out of. But these camps like to use that as like, see, then he called a woman a dog, and that's to put every other nation down. It wasn't like that. Her response made her whole because he like, you know what? Solid answer. Solid answer. Go ahead.
That's like the last shall be first and the first shall be last.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you understand it from that perspective, because what the Most High is listening for how the soul comes back. See, her soul was prepared. You got a chosen seed. I have no problem with that. But is there any leftovers? Right. Call me what you want to call me. I'll be a dog with the commandments. Right. Because the living dog is what? Better than a dead lion. Let's read some more. Where we at? Romans 14.
Romans chapter 14, verse 11. Ain't that what you said, 11?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we went over a little bit of this before, so I'm just jumping down to verse 11. Y'all can read 1 through 11, but it's basically talking about spiritual diet versus physical diet. And Paul is always on the consciousness of the diet. Yo, he's not concerned with meat because you know why? Paul was a eunuch, a spiritual eunuch. He didn't even be concerned about women. He said, I wish all y'all was like me and not touch a woman, but every man have their own. I know once you taste of the nectar, it ain't going away no time soon. You hook, line, and sinker. I don't know what it's about. It's like a virgin man. He don't know what that's about. He can hear you talking tough, but he don't know what that's about. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 14, verse 11.
Yeah.
For it is written.
What is it?
It is written.
See how Paul always starts it out. How can you blame him or say he's double talking when he say, you can go find what I'm about to say. It's written. Like the Messiah just said, for it's written. We found where it's written in Deuteronomy, didn't we? Right. Let's see what it's written. Go ahead. What it say?
For it is written, as I live, says the Most High, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to God.
Written in Isaiah 45:23. That's where it's written at. from the law, the prophet of Isaiah. It's written. That's how we verify. Notice they don't never go outside of this. You can check the Quran and the righteousness of Baba. No. There's some writings of Muhammad here. No, none of that. It ain't in here. Go ahead, what you got, bro?
To lay back on what you're saying, the other people of all these religions always come back to the Bible.
Always.
So the Bible's gonna go to those other,
See, that's how you know when it's a man-made doctrine. The Bible, which is the source, becomes the resource.
Yeah.
That's what you're listening for, is these scriptures a resource for what you promote.
Yep.
See, once we hear that, they're stealing from it. See, it's like,
I had to show this every time. And just so we get some understanding. Keep it.
boy want me to sell it to me. I give it to you for the low. I said the low 0. I gonna give it to you. Heritage. They trying to say it. This how you supposed to say it in Egyptian talk. Ras Sasror, meaning restored or heritage. Then they got down here. Right here. Everything out of the Bible was stolen out of Egypt. But then what they got right here. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. John 8:32. All throughout here it's saying everything was stolen from the Bible, but you ain't got no Egyptian scriptures. Right. You quote John, and then your soul, because they know it's in your soul already, John. Yeah. And you like, surely. And then you challenge the Bible with its own instructions. Right. That they're using against you, and you don't even know it. Go ahead. I've had that book about 20 years. Go ahead.
God is not the author of confusion.
He's not the author of confusion. That's the main thing. He's not the author of confusion. He's not going to confuse. That's major confusion. How you going to blast it and then use its scriptures to prove you?
Right.
In little bitty right.
Like you will hear these non-messianic camp leaders say, you know, the Messiah was made up. Oh, see, he fake. But, you know, I have to say in Matthew 4, you know, it was a good conversation. Wait, with the made up man? See, but he's talking so fast and you ain't listening. He got you off here. He got you so scared to death the Messiah didn't come in the flesh. So you scared to death, listen to that, and then right before your eyes, he'll grab a scripture and you are not wise to pick it up. Yeah. He's like, hold on, play. Hold up, swole up. What you mean? How you going to use John 8:32? Show me what that's in Egyptian writings then. Just show me this. See, because he broke down heritage. This is how he said it ought to be spelled. HERU-TAGE means heritage. HERITAGE. Ras to rods. But see, you got Ra like sun, the Ra sun god, which means restored. But when you get down to John, you ain't got bird mean or book of the dead, such and such. The truth shall make you free. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
I'm confused.
Go ahead.
It's just like the things that we shouldn't have or shouldn't even on commercials on television. They put the stuff that should be in big bold writing and little bitty writing and hurry up and swift past it while you trying to read it so you can't.
You know where that's at?
Yeah.
That's in the small print of every contract. We're going to give you this $3,000 loan, and that's all you see is $3,000 loan. You don't look at that fine print. And after all payments are made back, you're going to pay back $13,300 for $3,000? See, it's the same thing with Renison and all them places. Yeah, you can get it that day. We're going to give it to you that day. But $79 VCR, you got 30 payments on it at $20.
And it's used.
Look, all you have to do is wait and save $79 and go to Walmart. But when you have to have it now,
Yep, no patience.
I'll put myself in debt.
Go to Goodwill.
Look, and they'll come back and get that VCR.
He threatening you?
Look, on the last payment, they'll come back. Well, we see here you missed it. We've already sent our collection agents over there. They'll be picking up your VCR.
After about 50 other people rented it before you.
Oh, well, look, that's what the game you got into, and that's what we're talking about. Used products you start to champion that as righteous because you're championing your flesh, which is already used up.
But a lot of them, they just repeating what somebody else told.
Yeah.
I know somebody told me all the Bibles, that Bible stuff was stolen out of Egypt.
Yeah.
I say, what chapter and verse in the Book of the Dead?
Yeah.
What's the Book of the Dead?
Well, see, that's what we're talking about. They ain't got a clue. It's sound bites. They're repeating what somebody else said. They ain't got a clue. Shalom, my friend. Let's get some more, y'all. Where we at? Let's get caught up, y'all. I want to run through this book of Barnabas. Go ahead. Where we at? We
Where we at? Verse, did I get out of 12? Verse 12.
Romans 14, verse 12.
So then every one of us shall give account of himself to Yahweh.
Every one of us. Go ahead.
Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way.
So he said, let us not just keep on saying, you sinning, you sinning. He said, how about we just do this? You make sure you don't sin in front of them. And that'll fix a lot of things. Because you'll be turn a sinner away from his ways. If he see you, why you do that, brother? Because it's in the law of the Lord, and I'm trying to prosper, bro. Okay, well, so what I'm doing, no, that ain't gonna make you prosper, bro. Okay, I'm gonna get off of that, I'm gonna get on your program. So now you got to continue keeping that law, and now they're keeping it, so now it hides a multitude of sins that may have been in the past. See, if it weren't for grace, y'all, we already was on death row. Without grace and mercy, because ain't nothing we can do to fix dying flesh. That's what we still have to understand. That sin in the garden will be rectified at the second coming. It wasn't straightened out in Noah's ark. It will be straightened out with the Messiah at the second coming. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 13.
Yeah.
No, verse 14.
See, hold on. I see that. I want verse 12, so let everyone give an account of himself. Real quick, if you will, Levi, give me Ezekiel 14, verse 4, and then jump down to verse 20 on Ezekiel 14. So this is what we need to understand, y'all. Because, y'all, we cannot under no circumstances think you can get somebody in the kingdom. You can give them the ladle and show them where the water is, but the Most High got to give the increase. That's right. That's as far as you can go. You can only give them the gospel. You can't shove it down their throat. Right. What's that? Oh, just hold your head back. It's gospel. You just point it down the throat. You feel it? You feeling the thing? You like, no, I ain't feeling that. I'm about to drown. You waterboard me.
You say Ezekiel what, bro?
14, verse 4.
And that's what it would be. 4:20.
Is it 4? We got 20, but I think is it 4 or 14? I mean, is it 14 maybe?
Oh, yeah, 14.
Give me Ezekiel.
And then we're in it, but they can forsake their own soul.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ezekiel 14, then hit verse 20.
Okay, Ezekiel chapter 14.
Yeah.
Starting at verse 14.
Yes, sir. Hold on, got a few people flipping to it.
Okay.
Go ahead, bro.
Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 14. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job,
We know all of them, don't we?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, said the Most High Yah.
Now, if y'all read all the way through there, keep reading, but we just going to jump down to verse 20. Go ahead.
If I cause...
Go ahead. Verse 20.
Oh, verse 20.
Yeah.
Though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, said the Most High Elohim, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter. They shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness.
By their righteousness. So, judgment day, you ain't going to be able to stand there. Now, look, Messiah, I know you are austere man, but this is Junior. And Junior, you know, he had some problems, Lord. So, you know, he didn't mean to steal from them folks next door. No, you can't speak for him. Ain't nobody going to be able to speak for you and deliver you. That's why he tell you if you love your mother more than me. She can't get you into the kingdom. I don't care what she say.
Come on now.
The Father, he can't get you in there. You can't just beg him. He determines who will get in there, like he told Solomon. The only reason I'm not sending you to your grave right now is because of your father, David. I promised him. So I can't go back on my word. But I'm going to get you. But my word going to stand sure. But I'm going to punish you. I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to take your breath away. But you're going to feel some wrath. And all of the book of Ecclesiastes, all of them writings is Solomon writing after having a wealth of $6 trillion. Because if y'all Google right now the wealth of King Solomon, upwards of $6 trillion. All of that, had his navy, had wisdom, could command demons to work for him. And you fell for a little hip swivel. Well, it wasn't even no more hip swiveling because he couldn't swivel no more because they waited till he got old. And then they started pressing him. Well, you can't do nothing else. You can't do nothing in the chambers. I want to worship Molech. He like, please, Alpha. I tell you what, carpenter, build a high tower of Molech for her right over here in the land.
Just shut her up.
Just to shut her up.
In the lane.
But she was shamed. You ain't swiveling, I don't smell no more mandrake around her like in the songs of Solomon where mandrake was everywhere, because mandrake was an aphrodisiac. And you need it with 1,000 women.
It ain't working.
700 wives and 300 concubines are secondary wives. 1,000 women. And mandrake, you'll see it in Songs of Solomon 4, and also I believe it's Genesis 24 where Reuben found mandrake, the firstborn of Leah. And it allowed her to conceive, Rachel. So it was an aphrodisiac, or what we would call today, like how they do fertility drugs. But the root was dangerous as hell.
Dangerous.
If you ate or touched the root of mandrake, it was instant death. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Back in that Romans, right?
Yeah, Romans 14, go ahead.
Romans chapter 14, verse 14.
Yeah.
I know and am persuaded by the Most High, by the Lord Jesus,
Right.
that there is nothing unclean of itself. But to him that esteem anything to be unclean, to him it is unclean.
So when you start in the middle of the book, we're trying to understand what Paul is talking Genesis 1:1 through the last verse of Genesis 1. And the morning and the evening were what? Whatever day it was, and it was what? Good. What was created in them days? Was shrimps created in them days? What was catfish created in them days? So when he say it was good, it had a good purpose, because they're going to keep these waters crystal clear.
That's right.
Why you get a catfish and put in your fish tank? So them pretty fish get showed off, don't you? And you just point at it, yeah, that's a doo-doo eater over there. Yeah, that's a doo-doo eater like that. And they on the glass cleaning up, and you berate them. You talk about them catfish like, man, and see, the only reason I got them in here to eat the doo-doo, or they wouldn't be in here. What? They were designed for that reason. To keep the waters clean. How you going to disrespect that? It's like, how would you disrespect the janitor? Man, he ain't done that. Nigga just got a bunch of tools of ignorance. I don't care nothing about that.
Oh, yeah.
But you need that trash can empty that you drop your lunch in the next day, or your classroom gonna be smelling like what? You know what it's gonna be smelling like when trash get in there. You can't keep stomping your foot down on it and think you're gonna stomp funk down to the bottom of the trash can.
Right.
You got to get that out of there, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's get some up.
Verse 15.
Yeah.
But if thy brother be grieved with thy meat, now walkest thou not charitably.
Right.
Destroy not him with thy meat, from whom Christ died.
So basically he's saying, don't beat or pound nobody out about physical flesh that has to die or meat like that. We're on spiritual. You're putting a stumbling block in front of them. You put a diet, a fleshly diet before the word of the Most High. That's going to give him life. Don't stumble him up like that. Just tell him, bro, we don't even have to deal with this. Look, Christ is our Passover lamb. I'm not going to tell you you can't have a feast day without lamb. It doesn't say that anywhere. Not after Christ took over.
Exactly.
There's a new priest in town. He said, I'm the Lamb. John the Baptist, who switched the order from Aaron to Melchizedek, back to Melchizedek, he said, behold, the Lamb of God, because he was preferred before me.
That's right.
For I shall decrease. And what he gonna do? Increase. So John knew I'm phasing out. He coming in, y'all. So this the program. So all of that other fleshly stuff them turtle doves. And notice everybody that still rock that and don't say the order of Melchizedek ain't never seen it with a turtle dove. That means they're holding on to their transgressions. Unless you believe some man that they got in the back calling himself a triple high priest can forgive your sin. But notice what they're doing. They are taken from the world. Because technically, from them brothers who been in there that bust them out, say they took the bag from the Rosicrucians. So that doctrine is Catholicism. But notice what it is. Catholicism, when you look it up, it just means universal teaching. So don't get tripped up if you see Catholic anywhere. The deal is, what's the nation in front of that word? Roman Catholicism means they use canons. Roman canons. It's their writings. They don't use the Bible. Nowhere in the Bible says, call Mary holy and without sin. Nowhere in the Bible. It says she was a virgin, never been tampered with. She's highly exalted, but she's not without sin because she had to go sacrifice for having the Messiah when they had to go up to the temple. She had to go to the priest immediately with the Messiah and 2 turtle doves to offer what all women have to. But they teach that she's infallible, not the Messiah. That's why they say Hail Marys instead of go to the Messiah. So they make Mary his mother. They bring in mother worship, but that's in canons. It's not in here. It's just like Nostradamus may have a few prophecies, but he don't get them out of Revelation. He has his own book called the Quatrain. But he steals Revelations 18 out of here, and then he fix it into his and call it Quatrain. And he's been wrong several times. Just like the blind woman, Baba Babu, say when she went blind, you just look up the blind prophet. Baba Babu or somebody like that. But Baba Babu been wrong twice. So she's a false prophet. I don't care how many she got right. She's 10 and 2. She has to be 12 and 0. According to most high prophets. They're all victories. Ain't no this one fell off right here. But these other false prophets and write their own books, you will always see how they tell you where our writings are. This is so you won't have to excuse and say, well, Lord, I didn't know. The devil tricked me. No, the devil ain't trick you. You trick yourself. You wanted to believe. You could have asked him, why is it saying canon versus laws, statutes, and judgments?
Right.
It's just like any established church. They don't have the 10 Commandments up. They have what's called the church, what's it called? The covenant. When thou go to the bathroom, thou must tip lightly and one finger up to let all know you're going to the bathroom. There'll be no gum chewing in here. There'll be no nothing. And for sure what it won't be, there'll be no preaching of the laws.
Can't you just break wind when you're going to
Boy,
the
look here, yeah. No, you better be like this though. This just so everybody will know.
So you don't disturb.
You're right, you don't disturb me. So y'all, this is
we
what
know where he going.
we're talking about. Everything is posted.
Blow the seat up.
Everything is posted, y'all. We don't have to. And y'all, it's no shot at them, but what you have to understand is what you're in worship. And then they tell you it's the house of God. Without God's rules and commandments, it can't be his house. See, because this is the first house before you go in that house.
Right.
If they ain't here, you sure ain't caring about where they are there because you wouldn't be in there. Not trying to receive or you're going to get this. Heritage. H-U-R-U. It's like crazy talking about you shouldn't say good morning. It means you're saying good dead.
That's right.
That tell you they didn't even go to school because it's spelled 2 different ways.
Exactly.
And then you got the problem, the evening and the what? And it was what? Good. So it's 2 different spellings. So now you say grand rising. What the difference does that make? A grand rising?
That's a biscuit, eh?
Boy, look here. But I'm talking about just thinking because I wake up in the morning, I can do this. I'll say this and it makes my morning getting up better. It's like Tuba say, the best thing about waking up is waking up. It ain't Folgers.
That's right.
Go ahead. Where we at, bro?
Verse 16.
Yeah.
Let not then your good be evil spoken of.
See, y'all, that's the whole thing. Your good be evil spoken of. That's why we can't be gluttons at feast days, because your evil will be spoken of. That's why you got to be careful you don't have nobody do something they don't want to do, because it'll be evil spoken of. Especially if you don't give them rules about what we do and they go home sick. See, I told you that was a cult. See, I hear them people put stuff, all kind of stuff in their food. They got some kind of special. See, I hear they be putting turmeric and ginger and all that. Don't nobody use that stuff no more.
Who you hear that from?
Boy, look here, just. But that'll make them say, yeah, you're right. I was feeling better before I went to that. That's why we say you must vet any outside member of the assembly that you're trying to bring into the fold. If that means, okay, he got this problem, well, I won't do that problem around him, so that he gets a hold of this doctrine and understands it perfectly, so that when he go back to his home and they say, you was in a cult, wasn't you? No, I know cults. The preacher is in a cult. Your preacher, that's a cult, because it has no laws. They're man-made. That's a cult. When we decide what you do to get into your righteousness. Now, if somebody has said drink poison Kool-Aid, you know that it can't be found in the scripture. Them Jim Jones scriptures. Right. Drink the Kool-Aid. Right. And he's a pedophile, and he go both ways. What? If you watch the movie Jim Jones with Booth Powers, LeVar Burton was playing this one man. Jim Jones had his woman handling her. And he like, I want my wife back. You know what he said before the whole congregation? Look at the little sissy. You wasn't saying that when you were in those chambers last night. He like, oh, shit, what a Kool-Aid. See,
now you want your wife
now
back.
You want her back. The same way with David Koresh. This man walked his wife to his door, and she went in there, and David Koresh closed the door. Then when the baby born, she like, you want to see him? You want to see him? He like, no, I just can't believe. She say, you walked me to the door. You gave my hand to another man. And this woman still, to this day, you can Google it right now, Lady with Baby by David Koresh, still believes that she had a baby by the Lord. Still to this day.
What the baby doing?
I don't know what the baby doing. Looking like David Koresh, probably wearing some glasses at least. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 17.
Yeah.
For the kingdom of Yahweh is not meat and drink.
What is the kingdom of Yahweh?
Is not meat and drink, but righteousness and peace and joy in the Holy Ghost.
Which needs no meat or drink, because it's the only thing that you can survive 960 hours on without, in the Holy Spirit. See what it say? Joy and peace in that. It's not about meat and drinks. Those things are minimal to what he's concerned about. Those were just sacrifices for your sins. So you're championing what you had to kill because of your bad behavior.
Right. It don't make sense.
That ain't what the kingdom about. We ain't going to have sinning in the kingdom. So it ain't about meats and drinks from that perspective. Go ahead. Where we at?
Verse 18.
Yeah.
For he that is in these things serveth Christ is acceptable to Yahweh.
Right.
And approved of men.
And approved of who?
Of men.
But you first got to be acceptable to the Messiah. And then you're approved of men. Go ahead. We're in Romans 14, verse 18 says.
19 now.
19 now. Go ahead.
Let us therefore follow after the things which make for peace.
Which make for what?
For peace.
Does debate make for peace?
No.
It makes for confusion and strife.
Right.
Go ahead.
And things wherewith one may edify another.
One may edify another. Debate, you ain't edifying nobody. You're speaking opinion. You got that old hand on the chin move like you listening to some wise words. And you ain't hearing nothing but a bunch of confusion. Men think what they know the law is saying. The man that sleepeth on the floor will never fall out of bed. He deep, dog. He deep. Let's get some more, y'all. This is what we're talking about, y'all. That's not peace. Go ahead.
Verse 20.
Yeah.
For meat destroy not the work of your house. All things indeed are pure.
Right.
But it is evil for a man who eateth with offense.
Who eateth with offense. Like you think, like some people, y'all eating lamb, and see, we ain't used to lamb around here. We used to what was called soul flesh food. Pork chop, doodle noodles, deviled ham. All of those things that we were used to. So we're not understanding what these scriptures are saying to eat spiritually. Because once they remove God don't care about what you eat, then you'll be eating deception at that point. Now you're eating fruit of lies. Because you're saying God don't care what you put in you. He ain't worried about that stuff. Ain't that what he told Peter on the rooftop? Not at all. That ain't what he told Peter on the rooftop. You just didn't keep reading. If you'd have got to verse 28, you'd have known that ain't what he said. Let's get some more.
Verse 21.
Yeah.
It is good neither to eat flesh, nor to drink wine, nor anything whereby thy brother stumbleth, or is offended, or is made weak.
Or is made weak. See, if you're trying to tell a vegan, or what is them terms, vegan or vegetarian, that they must eat some lamb, that's not right to do. No. Because some people can't meat will cause problems for them. So you can't tell them you must eat meat. That's for the flesh. They already dealing with their flesh. They were already told by the doctor to get off that. That don't mean they're unrighteous. It just means they have a diet with one half. It's something going on with your physical flesh. You have to adjust your flesh to live your life out. You can't eat a lot of turkey. I can't. It's loaded with what's called purine. P-U-R-I-N-E, which creates uric acid at a high level. So now uric acid, if it ain't flushed out, guess where that uric acid go? To the big toe.
Gout foot.
And then you got the gout toe. You got that I'm going to get you sucker toe. You know when they shot him in the toe and it was thumping like that. What you got, bro? Who has something? Hold on, Emal. Emal, go ahead first, Emal. Then I'll get you to...
It goes straight to the joints.
It goes straight to the joint. Uric acid forms that. Then it starts to crystallize and called tophi. And then that's when you have to get it cut out. It's just a hump of crystallized, and you could be eating the perfect diet. Turkey, you could be eating beef, but those create, so then that tells you you have a problem with your pancreas or whatever orchestrates that to dump enough acid that you're born with to break that uric acid down. Go ahead, what you got?
And on the same flip side, you can't let a vegan tell you you can't eat meat.
Absolutely the same way. Yeah, because he gave us the perfect diet.
Right.
He gave us a balanced diet.
He don't eat meat, but he eating some cauliflower chicken nuggets.
Right. Cauliflower chicken nuggets. Well, look.
Why is everything you eating compared to meat?
To meat, so it tastes just like meat. Right. No, it don't taste like meat.
No.
It's a vegan hamburger.
They say frog legs taste like chicken. Hamburger. Now hold on. Now we got an expert chicken eater here. Does frog legs taste like chicken?
No.
Okay, all right. No, they don't taste like chicken. They may appear to taste like chicken.
So chicken don't have that.
It don't have a high level of purine in it.
Right. See, that's
it don't. So and look, not only that, but it's in certain fruits and vegetables.
Yes,
look.
What's in broccoli?
Love black eyed peas, loaded with them. Cashews have a higher content, but that's when they say, "Man, know thyself." See, and then can't know about a purine, cashews, but it don't affect some other people. Right, cashews affect me. I can eat peanuts. Right. I can eat pecans. But cashews is off limit, and then that's when you start to understand your body.
Right.
Your body, you knows what triggered off. So when you go to the doctor and he say, "What's hurting you?" Every time I eat cashews, my foot swell up. Well, okay, you got to stop eating cashews. But I love cashews. It's the same thing. Your blood pressure is way over the limit. You're going to have a stroke.
Right.
You're going to have to leave that pork alone.
Take this pill.
No, they tell you first, here you can eat this other meat first. But since you can't eat that, no, now come on, doctor. I got to give up my chitterlings. Yes, you're going to have to give them up. You're going to have to go to another type of meat, another white meat, fish, maybe cod or jack salmon. You're going to have to go to that. Oh, Lord have mercy. I ain't going to give them that. I give up the rest of it, but I ain't going to give up my bacon. Well, here's your prescription so you can keep eating bacon. But this comes with a side effect. You gonna, it's on there. They tell you that. Look, they just play music, soft. Baboso. If your arm keeps doing this, baboso. And look, they swinging on the swing. He driving in the car and the wind blowing in his hair. Babosa. It will cure that raggedy arm, but you'll have visible gas.
Runny bowels.
Runny bowels. You in public you'll let loose, and you driving with your going in your hair instead of just let that meat go.
Right.
Look, we got a sister that she was practicing the diet where no meat. You have to understand this, but after 20 years of that, she went to the doctor. The doctor told her, your bones are brittle as hell. You fall down a pair of steps right now, you be broken up like graham cracker dust. You have to put meat back in you 3 times a week now till you get your numbers back up. It's a balanced diet, y'all. Go ahead, Emo.
So you have to know what plants
You have to, Emo.
have high calcium.
What's that soup, Emo, you make that lentil? That lentil soup was so good, I ate a whole pot by myself. I had the penitentiary like this so Zipporah couldn't get both feet was like this.
Paid for it.
Can you bring me some of that foot pain medicine? You see?
She should have held it like you holding it.
So y'all, we have to understand everything must be balanced because of this dying flesh. Certain things you inherited from your parents, 23 chromosomes, you can pass on a bad disease. That's why they always ask you, hereditary. Do you have a history of high blood pressure? It may have got passed from your mother. It got passed. That's why they want to know your history. How long y'all been eating doodle noodles? Every Thanksgiving for the last 50 years. So that done passed through a couple generations.
This stuff is generational curse.
Absolutely. But look.
All of it passed down generation.
Why is that though, sis?
Huh?
Because when you go to the church house of the law, it's not told you can't eat what's killing you. As a matter of fact, it's championed to eat it. But look,
it in there.
At first you didn't know, right?
Right.
You thought it was right because you thought it was a man of the Lord because he stopped in Acts 10th chapter before he got to the 28th verse when it said Peter rise, kill and eat. He closed the book at that. But if you got to verse 28 of that Acts 10th chapter, it says, Peter said, now I know not to call any man common or unclean. I got the revelation now. But notice what Peter do. It said, while Peter doubted the vision, he said, not so, Lord, for nothing has ever entered my mouth unclean. What the Lord has cleansed, calls that not uncommon. Don't do that no more. And it said Peter still pondered the vision, and while he was thinking about it, is the Lord telling me to break the law now? I can break Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy 14. At that point, Cornelius showed up. He's like, there it is. There it is. Israel getting some more people in.
Preparation for God to use Peter, because Peter had a mindset of his own, seemed like a self-righteousness, even when he told him to drop the net to get the fish, and he thought he knew everything about everything.
We'll cut the Romans 0 off. No, he was in the flesh, so he was righteous. Look, because what was told him, this is what you have to understand, no matter how Peter's mind was, Most High said, I'm going to build my church off of what you just said. See, you're the power head right now. You're Peter, but Peter, Satan is wanting to sift you like wheat because I'm having the other disciples look at you as the example. So we have to truly understand. And also, Peter was on the Mount of Configuration. So we don't want to look at him like hard head. It's the hard head after several times. You're going to deny me 3 times. I'll never do it. If Peter could transfer his flesh toughness to his spirit, he would have excelled 10 times. He would have never went through that. Now look here. Who was walking on the water and felt that water get up to them shin bones?
Peter.
He was walking cool at first, and the devil whispered, you know you can't walk on water that ain't
Start
frozen.
looking at the storms of life and start sinking in it.
Start sinking down in it because of faith.
Yes.
You could walk on this water. I just showed you how to do it. But the devil get right in your ear. Why don't you believe that? You know you ain't walking on water. Don't do it. You finna drown. And as soon as that happened, he starts sinking. But this is how the devil gonna come to us in that hour of the miracle. This is what we have to understand, y'all. He ain't caring about how we doing right now. He wants the glory of the Most High to be defamed. Let's get some more, y'all. We're going to speed this on up.
Right quick.
Go ahead, Sid.
That's the confirmation to me right now with what I'm going through, and I'm going to keep my eyes on
Keep your eyes on the prize, but look, because what they're going to do, they're going to keep telling you that, but this is what we're saying. We're not judging. We're just making sure we don't put stumbling blocks.
Right.
And a stumbling block is judging and say, y'all wrong. We got to cut that out. What we have to do is go to them and say, look, let me tell you why I got off the program. Once you explain to them why I got off the program of dead flesh, this is the reason why. I can show you in the scripture. But if you go right in, they're going to feel offensive already. And see, you can't offend in word. Right. That's why your ass going to the lake of fire. We cannot do that.
Ain't no stopping
You
us now.
cannot do that. You cannot judge from that perspective. Because if you eating that pork, you going to the lake of fire, do you still eat fast food? Because they don't change the grills, do they?
Junk food.
No, I'm saying when they cook pork on that grill with the bacon, that burger, at Steak and Shake, they're going to put your burger right next to it, don't they? Do they put a divider in there for your burger? Same juice is cooking, don't it? What do you pull out of your pocket? Hold it down, y'all. What do you pull out of your pocket but money? You watching it cook next to bacon. And you going to pay for it? And then you're going to tell somebody, see, I don't eat no swine. See, and that may be just traces of swine they're getting in. See, I buy all beef. Sir, did you read that? It said, but packed in a pork case. What? What the hell is going on here? See, the devil did that because I'm on the Lord's team. No, you just ain't never read it. Back in the packet. You a champion meats which get purged in the drought. See, and this is what we're talking about. Because when you make a turd, do you put that on Facebook, y'all? Look at that lamb turd. Look at that lamb turd. Do you? Huh?
I haven't seen it.
Pure lamb.
Look, you show everything before. Yeah, about to eat some lamb and crackers.
Lamb right there.
You know, I got some spaghetti on her.
Look how it flows.
Look how it flows. Yeah, look here. Look here. And then you.
You'll give somebody that feel for it.
Well, I bet not. Let's get caught up, y'all. Yeah, sure. Yeah, boy, look here. And then in the talk. Look, you know why? Because this the problem. They misunderstand Mark 7:7. They say it don't what goes in you that defile you, but it's what comes out defile you. There's still a problem. If you say pork can go into you, why is it defiled when it come out? See, then that means it's defiled inside of you because you're getting it out of you. The Messiah just say, if you eat something on the righteous list that may have got tainted, he said, it's going to purge in the draw anyway. You don't have to worry about it, but don't let it come out. I ate it and it didn't do nothing to me. See, this is why we got to be careful, you know, on whatever you say was going on in an individual temple. You know, like, and we keep coming up with the thing, you know, are cigarettes bad? Well, we answer immediately, are you saying is tobacco bad? Because it's a seed-bearing herb. So I only want to talk about tobacco. When the term cigarettes, it means tobacco with an additive. Because you don't do tobacco red, do you? You don't chew tobacco red, do you? Do you put a tobacco patch on? Or what is that patch called?
Nicorette.
Nicorette. It's the chemical we got to get you off of, not the natural product. Coca leaves was to do operations. Men had, if you was having an aneurysm, they rub your head with so much coca leaf and you be numbed up there, you be glowworming like you done smoked a pound. Ain't feeling nothing. You talking about numbskull. And then they cut your head open and relieve that stress. You will see bones they found with a little square hole cut out of the brain. That was to release that pressure. And you couldn't just cut on no man's head. But when you add 13 chemicals to cocaine, now you're chemically dependent. It's the chemicals on it that you have to get off. And God forbid you get a hold to some meth. It ain't got no natural in it. It's all synthetic. They put batteries in it. Give me a little bit of that bath salt too. Some of that motor oil. It's and they say it's so bad you can smell it 3 counties over. When you start driving to Jefferson County, you can smell meth in the air. That's how they track meth factories. You can smell it all up in the air. It changes the whole landscape of that whole a city or whatever county is in. Meth, you can smell it when you drive up in there. I'm talking about battery acid. I mean, they'll throw a battery in a used battery. I don't throw that battery away. We can make meth with that. Eats the teeth right off. They have something called meth mouth.
I've seen it. That's for sure. Keep it up for 4 days.
Look,
and all that.
and then you come down crashing and so depressed. Now you trying to fix meth mouth. Got braces on your gums. That ain't gonna fix it. You just smile at it. You got meth mouth. Let's get some more. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 22.
What it say, bro?
Hast thou faith? Have it to thyself before Yahweh.
See, that's what you gotta have it. Have it before Yahweh, not to nobody else. Go ahead.
Happy is he that condemneth not himself in that thing which he allowed.
Y'all understand that? Don't tell me not to do something and it condemns you. Don't have me do that which you don't allow, but you secretly doing it. See, that's what it's telling. Don't be true to yourself. Don't let your flesh overpower. That's your flesh doing that to you.
Yeah.
Well, maybe God really don't mean it like that. I know sometimes he talk in allegories. Maybe he want me to eat this. No, you fooling yourself because your spirit tell you the last time you ate that, you broke wind, the house had to be fumigated. So you know better. And you try to trick yourself to believe a lie.
Believe a lie.
Go ahead, because I like it. Go ahead.
Going back to that Mark 7, he said, it's the disobedience that you have to get out of you.
Absolutely, bro. That's why it's what comes out of you defile you, because it's okay to eat that. Man, God don't care nothing about that's coming out of you. That's what defiles you. Right. Everything you put into you eventually a purge and a draw. And you, like say you got cells and blood that you get new sets every 4 months or so that'll recover your body if you do it, you mess up and get it out. Your body gonna regenerate itself. But it can't recover. You keep putting regular 87 and what's supposed to be 93, it can't recover. You're putting water in a tank that's high octane. It can't have no water in it. And you keep putting that in there because you want to say, man, it's gasoline, man, it's a car. Well, put moonshine in the thing. Right. It'll run. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 23.
Yeah.
And he that doubteth is damned if he eat, because he eateth not of faith. For whatsoever is not of faith is sin.
Whatsoever is not of what?
Faith is sin.
And faith came, y'all. Faith is Messiah. Whatever you doing ain't in Messiah, is sin. You can have a Passover and don't believe in it. That's a sinning Passover. Ain't got the blood of the Lamb on there, the true blood of the Lamb.
Right.
You're showing a whole lamb. See, we doing it just like it's supposed to be. Okay. You're doing it just like it's supposed to be. What priest guaranteed 2 weeks before y'all doing this that it didn't have one spot of blemish in it? What them records at? Y'all supposed to show them up. And was tested by over at the priest verification house, y'all. We verified it was on lock for 2 weeks. They had all of our triple high priests come in and check it out. And you gonna show me that on the grill and you're denying the Messiah? Yeah. That he was born of the Holy, conceived of the Holy Spirit. You still saying that Joseph. See, you put that lamb above the true Messiah. You know why? Because their doctrine is we live by the animal kingdom. Since lions, if they go to a new herd and it's male cubs already there, they kill the male cubs. So they eliminate the stepdaddy process out of that program. That's why they always teach, send them kids back to their daddy or whatever. But the scripts say just the opposite. And see, being Joseph, being the ultimate stepdaddy, they can't have that in their program. It goes against their program. See, I ain't supposed to. See, what do lions do in the kingdom? They kick the cubs out or they kill the cubs, don't they? So you're telling me you get with a woman, she got 2 children, you kick them out. That's what the script. That ain't what the script say. See, that's why they can't say Joseph is his stepdad, because of the practice that they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's the ultimate stepdaddy, ain't he?
Raised him as his own.
As his own.
What he did.
See, because we got commandment to take care of the widows and the fatherless. See, the father ain't nowhere around. And then they say, well, see, it's always been scripture. That ain't been in the scriptures nowhere. The children ain't never left with the daddy. Never. Abraham, when he packed up Ishmael, who went with Ishmael?
His mom.
Huh? And what did he do? Did he load them up bread and wine and told them, y'all go on your way? But the angel had told them, don't worry about them. They're going to be taken care of. They'll have the spiritually widow and fatherless when they go there, because Sarah said they got to go. It grieved Abraham that he had to send Ishmael away, but the Lord said, send him on. Now this is the Lord saying, send him on. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So it ain't never another process. Let's get into the Joshua 71. Why Moses' daddy named him what he named him? It said because Moses' daddy came back now. Moses' daddy run off. Joshua had Moses, when him and Miriam put him in that basket, they fashioned that and sent him down the river. Moses' daddy had took off. Say he was going to get a loaf of bread and they hadn't seen him since. So we have two occasions where the mother is left with the child. That's why it was set up for them. Yeah, it's bad in this nation and the father get the short end of the stick, but it's always been that way. We have to help the woman. She's the weaker vessel. We have to help her and children left with her. We have to, but a man, he's got to get that grind in. You're the man. You got to get that grind, and you can't grind like that with 10 shillings back with you back there. So you have to understand what's written in the Bible versus what somebody trying to put you back in an animal kingdom. Mm-hmm. We were only compared to the lions of the jungle because of how they protected all of their other ones. But if you don't bring in that part and eliminate humans being reduced to animal behavior, then you're going to start to take that advice of an animal, and that'll become my behavior. I'm like the lion. Well, you got to accept her being a Leo now. I'm Leo the lion. Ah! See, because once you let bad in, bad is in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all understand what I'm saying? So what's written in the scripture is what's happening today is just being put on us at a higher level. You know why? Because it was more marriages in slavery, I'm talking about in our hard bondage, we still in captivity, than it is right now. I'm talking about, and they recorded them. Junebug married to June Ladybug. All that was recorded. See, they had to record what it was. And now you got these same Negroes saying, we don't have to do that with the state. Well, how they going to know? How do all the people around you, other nations, going to know what the deal is? Right. They ain't got your text message or your phone number. You need to have this recorded and sealed with a stamp that is Junebug and June Ladybug. Mm-hmm. One flesh. Y'all understand? Yes, sir. It ain't hard because he sent us to a nation that has our laws, but then add commandments of men. You still put your hand on this in the courtroom, did it? Yes, sir. What have they changed in here?
They took the Bible out.
No, it's in the courtroom. You put your hand on this and say, swear. You ain't supposed to swear, though. You're supposed to say, I affirm. So and what have they changed in here since they done this? Did they put same-sex marriage on their books? But did they say, you must do same-sex marriage yet? No. So we ain't nothing we got to worry about. It's just telling us the days of Noah. But they ain't changed this, that where a man and a woman can't get married. Is that anywhere in these states? No. You can go anywhere right now, a man and a woman, and get married, right? Because they added that, they're only doing to us what we did in the homeland to get kicked out. We was doing that. We just talked about Solomon, didn't we? See, Solomon lost it because he just got overwhelmed. The law said kings shouldn't multiply wives. So he lost that edge by doing that. And then he became the hips and not the shoulders anymore. Man can't flaunt his hips. Don't look right. Shoulders must be like this.
You know,
When your son starts smelling himself and he walk in, you be like, hey, player, you better go hang them shoulders back up or loosen them down. I'm your daddy. You don't come up in here like this on me. Go hang them shoulders back up. That's the only time. But when he leave your house, he got to have shoulders. He can't be talking about his hips. He can have pants down his crack of his rear end showing his hips instead of up here. Let's get some more. Where we at? We finished that?
Yeah.
Barnabas chapter 8. Y'all, we in the lost books. Tubai gonna put it up. If y'all got y'all smartphones, just do lost books. Lost books of the Bible, Barnabas. And y'all get right with us. But Tubai gonna put it up on the screen. If y'all don't have it, just tap on into the live stream, whoever here. And y'all, Barnabas rolled with Paul. And they were preaching the gospel like we were told to do. This is just after further disciples and apostles continued to preach the gospel. And y'all, we're going to get into some things here going to clearly make you understand Acts 10th chapter, Peter rise, killing Eve. We're going to get a good understanding of why those unclean beasts were put on the sheep and he was told to eat. Y'all, we're going to get a clear understanding. Because mankind has to come back to the fold, not beast kind. So any other nation, if you got the same blood type, you can use that blood, but you can't use blood of a dog. No. Can't use blood of a hyena. Can't get you no calamari blood gonna fix you up, can it? So human blood, and when you go in, they don't identify who it came from. Like you 1040 in any car, can't you? It may tell you 10W5 or 5W30, but you put some 1040 in there, you say because it got a lot of miles on it.
Yeah.
Chapter 8, let's get it. Everybody got it? Everybody get it on their smartphones? Too bad you got it up?
I'm pulling it up now.
Okay.
I started the computer earlier, just restarted everything, so I'm still controlling to it.
We're going to go 8 and 9, and then we're going to come back to 10 a little later. We're going to get into the one-liners because we're going to get into a foul that was made that we look at as dirty foul. See, it gives you a different perspective if your favorite football team is the Ravens. And notice this, y'all. Why do every sports team and different thing on this side name their teams after the dark side?
that's what I'm
They're wicked.
The Duke Blue Devils.
Right. For the wicked. Right.
The
That's wickedness.
Boston Celtics.
Right.
We ain't got the Cherubims.
Right.
We ain't got the Seraphims.
Right.
Here come the Seraphims. They got that best three-point shooter out there. He's known to fire a three-pointer like he's Michael Jordan.
None of that.
None of that.
You got the Crusaders.
Huh? Crusaders, that's from the Vikings.
Yeah, that wouldn't.
Right.
So that's all we talking about, y'all. Bad seems good, and it's to scare individuals. So when we give you a bad name, that scares you if you are our opponent.
Right.
Look, this is why the Vikings had a thing when we used to see them. Here come them bear shirts! See, they used to kill bears and put the skins on them and over their head, and they felt it gave them power. And so when they be charging you, it was like they had on a bear shirt because it covered them up. But it slowly turned into berserk. He gone berserk. It meant he was wearing a bear shirt because they were crazy and out of control. Y'all understand what we're saying? Bear shirts is short for berserk because when they had on them bear shirts, they were acting like they was crazy, howling, foaming at the mouth, coming through with swords and killing. And you holler, here come them bear shirts, or here come berserk. What you got, Emo?
That's the same way that they do when they do martial arts and things like that. They say they take on that spirit.
Slow 'em out.
They take on that spirit
Right.
of that animal.
Yeah. Well, look, they used to hypnotize Mike Tyson. Why Mike Tyson was so powerful early on is because Jimmy Jacobs used to hypnotize Mike Tyson. like he was a tiger. And every fight you see that Jimmy Jacobs in before he died, he always kissed Mike Tyson right after the fights were over. And that broke the curse. Broke that thought process. Just like Jimmy Walker and Let's Do It Again when they had him, what was his name? Bootsy Farnsworth. They was pulling a Bootsy Farnsworth on Mike Tyson. Making them think he was a tiger, and when he get in there, he said, "Yeah, I want to drive your nose bone up through your brain." See, that's what a tiger do. Because you know what? People that champion lions, a lion can't whoop a tiger. But they're in two separate sections of the world. I Google lion ever whoops a tiger. You Google that right now.
Actually,
I saw
sometimes they
a
do.
couple
Sometimes they
fights.
do.
But I'm talking about normally the king of the jungle, a tiger, one-on-one, will wear a lion out. But
You can't get that right now.
bigger, too.
You can't
because
get
they're
that.
so much bigger, but they're in different parts of the area. Tigers mostly over in India and over in those areas. You don't find a bunch of tigers in Africa.
They're not in there.
They're not in Africa. So he's the king of that area. But the champion over in Asia is that Bengal tiger.
Yeah, they get. But
Who had some?
The tiger usually fights by himself. The lion doesn't.
Right.
So
Lions and
a tiger can't take two lions, but lions will come. That's why he's the king of the jungle.
Right.
Because he do king stuff. The lion,
Yeah.
The tiger is by himself, is alone. He
Solo.
studying nobody. He ain't trying to see.
He ain't got a kingdom, though.
Right.
The lion got a kingdom. He got to look out for pride. He got to look out for
Herd, yes.
Right. So
Bengal tiger, so total different things. So it's only a metaphor. That's all we're supposed to take it at. Not follow the lion's behavior.
Right.
right.
Because then you're gonna have blood in your mouth. Because lions don't chew the cud, do they?
No. But they eat what you cook. It might be.
Huh? Well, that's what I'm saying. Look, but they eat it. Look, that'd be like they eating it raw though. They eat it raw, so we can't eat it raw.
Have a tartar.
Yeah, but see what we eat don't eat no blood, no meat. Cows eat grass.
Right.
Ain't nothing in there that's gonna cause a problem. Lions eat. If they eat that, they're eating blood as well as that cud.
Yes, sir.
Flesh that ain't been cooked.
Yes, sir.
And they have the blood running all down here too.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Don't even wash your.
Look, nothing. Just,
Lay down, go.
let's get this, y'all, while we got a little time, y'all. We got about 40 minutes. Yeah, go ahead. We're in the book of Barnabas, 8th chapter.
All right, the book of Barnabas, chapter 8.
Yeah, and this is
Verse
concerning circumcision. It'll match up with Galatians 3, but we're getting right to that to get to the part we want in chapter 9. Go ahead.
And therefore, the scripture again speaks concerning our ears, that the Most High has circumcised them, together with our heart. For thus said the Most High, by the holy prophet, by the hearing of the ear, they obey me.
How can you hear it unless you got a preacher? You know, they hear the word say. So he's getting into that on the spiritual level, y'all. Y'all think of this, this ain't flesh talk. This spiritual talk. These ears was designed so that you can hear the word of the gospel and it resonates your soul that has the laws in it. It starts that up for you. When you hear it, you say, okay, that's good information right there. And it ignites your soul. But that's why you got to have good hearing. That's why he would unstop the ears of the deaf and dumb. Go ahead. What else to say?
Verse 2. And again, they who are afar off shall hear and understand what things I have done. And again, circumcise your hearts, said the Most High.
See, and that was the problem with what they was on Paul head about in Acts 16. They kept telling them it wasn't about Timothy had the word. He like, y'all, he keeping everything, but he ain't circumcised. He ain't circumcised. He like, do we have to worry about that right now? Abraham wasn't circumcised to 99. No, he ain't circumcised. He must be circumcised. And see, when you follow a practice like that, who's going to be the circumcision
Or checker.
or checker at the door? You going to get a group of men to do that now?
No, he gonna check it.
Oh, that's what we're talking about. So what we're talking, you know, if people start to stay in the flesh and they think you must be circumcised to get to the kingdom. Now, once you get it up here, then you get rid of that flesh because you know why I'm cutting it off. I can sacrifice that piece of flesh. Don't die anyway. Go ahead, bro.
That's why like I said, a lot of people ain't gonna make it because they don't have the spiritual ear. They say he that hath an ear,
Like that, bro.
The Messiah spoke in parables because he knew everybody would get it. It wasn't for everybody.
Right.
It was for those who was for him. Or certain people was going to understand and hear and know he was talking about spiritual things. Unlike the Pharisees, they didn't have those spiritual
Didn't
things.
have it, bro.
So they ain't going to make it. But
It was sounding like this to the Pharisees. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Boom, 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 boom. That's all they heard. Boom, 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 boom. Did you hear that triple high priest? Boom, 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 that's all I heard. What you hear? Triple high priest, captain over 10,000 and 1,500 million. Boom, 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 boom. That's all I heard too. Because you can't hear it. Because you don't want to accept him. You want to keep accepting this man right here. And you know his fault. He extorted you with your faults. So he done showed you a few faults. So now y'all into this extortion game. You don't tell mine, I won't tell yours. I'm supposed to tell yours if it's affecting me. Only if it's affecting me. Because I can't take on another man's sins. I can't agree to hide another man's sins. Man, if my woman called, I'm with you.
Right. No, you ain't.
No, you ain't.
That's right. Just that simple.
Hey, Willie, is Earl over there?
Nope.
He called me and
called
said he
told
was going
me
to hang
say
out
it,
with
but
me.
I
But I ain't seen him yet. I'm not going to put myself, because, see, then they'll be hugging like Esther and Woodrow when Fred told him to get rid of Esther. And then he was hugging, oh, Fred, he ain't nothing but an old wolf. He told me to leave my scummy bummy. And see, then you get all the drunk. Go ahead, where we at, bro?
We at verse 3.
Yeah.
And again he said, Hear, O Israel, for thus said Yahweh thy Elohim. And again, the spirit of Yahweh prophesied, saying, Who is there that will live forever? Let him hear the voice of my son.
Let him hear what?
The voice of my son. And again, hear, O heaven, and give ear, O earth, because Yahweh hath spoken these things for a witness. And again he said, Hear the word of the Most High, ye princes of the people. And again, hear, O children, the voice of one crying in the wilderness.
Y'all understand that we in the wilderness of the people. When you read Ezekiel 20:33 on down, it say, I'm going to bring you out like I did in that Egypt. I'm going to bring you out the same way. But you're going to be in the wilderness of the people. This is our wilderness. Ain't nowhere else to go. And then if we were to go to somewhere else, we just read that there's serpents in the wilderness. There's chaos in the wilderness. See, most people ain't read the journey through the wilderness to get to the land of Canaan. Fighting and warring. Certain nations wouldn't let us through. They're like, no, y'all go around. But we make it like it's going to be the heavenly place. Hands back and just throw another grape in my mouth. In the wilderness? Wilderness means overgrown and rough, don't it? So no, we ain't going to no wilderness. We already in the wilderness. Doctrine's bad. All over the world. It's telling you all over the world because COVID shut down the world. You can't travel with us. You can't come over here. And if you do go over there, we need 2 positive tests before we let you go back. That's a worldwide deal. Is it the mark of the beast? No. It's a forerunner to let you know when we lock down, we can lock the whole world down. Won't nobody move. And God forbid you be in China because they willed the apartment doors shut. They couldn't even come out. They willed the outside of the doors shut. We want 0 tolerance around here. You ain't gonna be hacking nowhere. We're not sending for email ball. We're gonna build them doors shut. Let's get some more, y'all.
Verse 6. Wherefore he has circumcised our ears.
What has he circumcised?
Our ears.
How you do that? Go ahead.
That we should hear his word and believe. But as for that circumcision in which the Jews trust, it is abolished. For the circumcision of which Yah spake was not of the flesh.
What was it not of?
Of the flesh. But they have transgressed his commands, because the evil one have deceived them. For thus Yahweh speaks them. Thus said the Most High your El, here I find the new law. Sow not among thorns, but circumcise yourselves to the Lord your God.
So don't be promoting to men who die like you about your circumcision. You just promoting flesh. He said, I need you to hear me. I need you to circumcise this and circumcise these.
Say it.
That don't mean, yeah, he got his ear, he got circumcised, man, they pierced his ear. No, none of that. The only time piercing ear in the Bible was for a slave, a servant that had owed you 7 years. You will pierce his ear. That's my servant. Go ahead, what else to say?
And what doth he mean by this saying? Hearken unto your Yahweh, your Lord.
Okay.
Excuse me. Verse 8. And again he said, circumcise the hardness of your heart, and harden not your neck. And again, behold, saith the Lord, all the nations are uncircumcised. They have not lost their foreskin, but this people is uncircumcised in heart.
He said, look, all of the nations, they ain't even got circumcised. He said, but this people are uncircumcised in heart. Even though you, Israel, you circumcised the flesh, your heart is far from me. You just had somebody cut a little bit off. Go ahead.
But you will say, the Jews were circumcised for a sign, and so are all the Syrians and Arabians, and all the idolatrous priests. But are they therefore of the covenant of Israel? And even the Egyptians themselves are circumcised.
Y'all hear that? So look, when we say an uncircumcised nation, it's mostly talking about right here. And this thought process of what you think about the God of Israel, the God of creation. So when you say an uncircumcised, our mind immediately go to the flesh. That's what the devil wants you to think. We're talking about flesh when you say uncircumcised. See, all nations, all of them just got the blunt look in their drawers. No, that ain't what it's talking about. Because the Egyptians were circumcised. So when Pharaoh's heart was hard, it wasn't circumcised, even though he was circumcised in the flesh. So there's nations that are circumcised, but they're on a whole different covenant. They cut off skin for different reasons. Like them Hamites circumcised their women. How do they do that?
Just them Hamites,
Yeah, I'm hoping it's just them Hamites. But we starting to get all them Hamites techniques over here. We want to be like them Hamites.
Be like the heathen.
And you know what? They even put chastity belts on them. They put chastity belts on them. And the father takes the key.
And the father take the key.
Yes, he takes the key and does not open those chastity belts until they get to a certain age or promise to a man or whatever. It's a long process.
Well, see, and then like you say, Emo, they sell iron drawers around these parts. That's what we call them. She got on the iron drawers. I couldn't penetrate nowhere, not with my hands or nothing. She got the iron drawers on because she knew technically she wasn't supposed to be in that position with you anyway. I ain't supposed to be at your house. Your parents ain't here, and we ain't old enough. Both of us still in grade school. She had to have that fight of iron drawers on her so you wouldn't penetrate that and she'd be pregnant before she get to high school. Y'all know?
That's true.
In their fabric burning like you crazy. Go ahead. And tell them, Jeremiah.
The same way.
What'd you say, Emo?
The same way as to the people used to wear their girdles.
Yeah. All of that make you rough, to have a rough time. Now if they pull off all that stuff, it's just artificial flesh parts in them. Like on them Get Your Sucker sister, you know what I'm talking about. When she throw her leg over there, throw her rear end over there, throw both her breasts right there. Don't make me hop after you. Where we at?
We at verse 10.
Yeah.
Understand therefore, children, these things more fully, that Abraham, who was the first that brought in circumcision, looking forward in the spirit to Yahshua, circumcised, having received the mystery of 3 letters.
So right here, Noah, Shem, and Japheth were not circumcised. Abraham was the first to circumcise. See, that's why we can't put it on the flesh like that. And you ain't done your homework to go backwards. Go ahead, what else we got?
For the scripture says that Abraham circumcised the 318 men of his house. But what therefore was the mystery that was made known unto him? Mark first the 18 and next the 300, for the numeral letters of 10 and 8 are IH. And these denote Yahshua.
So it was bringing in the covenant of Messiah because that's who it was. It's like when Solomon was asking the demons in the Testament of Solomon, he said, "What angel causes problem for you?
Right, trouble you.
What's his number?" They say 644. Come on. See, so when you hear numbers and you break that down in Latin Roman numbers, 6 may mean this or that. When you say what's the letters or what's the name of it, it says Emmanuel. He troubles us with his number. So this don't mean we go chasing letters or different things, because it's still everything coming back to, he still explained what IH means. So it's no personal interpretation. Read that again, what IH means.
For the numeral letters of 10 and 8 are IH. And these denote Yahshua.
See, you know what they said? They denote Yahshua. So it's clear from anybody else on the planet. Anytime you see numbers, so we don't get caught up into numerology and start saying, ain't 7 his number, ain't 12 this number, ain't 13 this number. No, we're not to get into numerology. The numbers still have to add up to the prophecy. Isaiah 7, Isaiah 11, we should call his name Emmanuel. He is the Savior of the world. I don't care what letters they're talking, it still must come back to the subject matter at hand. Faith. And he is faith, because you have to believe in him. That's faith, ain't it?
Come on.
But some will tell you, man, faith ain't never hit this earth. Man, faith ain't coming back. You better get you some crystals. You better get you some Scientology from Ron L. Hubbard. That's what Farrakhan teaching now. Scientology. Google it right now. Farrakhan and Scientology. He implementing everything now. Come on, a dog returning to his vomit. Let's get some more.
Verse 13.
Yeah. What's up, Judas? Not that scary. Y'all see Judas trying to walk with them shoulders like he brought up that water like that, some heavy pots. Go ahead. Just messing with you, Judas. Go ahead. Where we at?
Verse 13.
Yeah.
And because the cross was that by which we were to find grace, therefore he adds 300, the note of which is T, the figure of his cross. Wherefore by 2 letters he signified Yahshua, and by the 3rd his cross. He who has put the engrafted gift of his doctrine within us knows that I never taught to anyone a more certain truth. But I trust that ye are worthy of it.
See, so he just saying, look, I'm here to break truth down for y'all in its form, so that you don't get this mixed up with anybody else. Where we at? Chapter 9, y'all. This is the meat we wanted to get into. But this is Galatians 3, y'all, that where a lot of people have trouble with Galatians 3. You out, John?
Yeah, we up.
Okay. Y'all be careful out there. Love you too, bro. Yes, sir. Shalom, sister. Be careful out there. Let's get it, y'all. Chapter 9, y'all. This is where we want to be. This is getting into some spiritual diet, and it's going to further take your consciousness higher than Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14, that you only think we're talking about meats. He said because the kingdom ain't determined about meats. You're going to have to be dealing with people of other nations. You got to deal with Israel as a nation, so you have to make sure bad behavior ain't in them. It ain't got nothing to do with eating or drinking.
That's up.
All that comes later. That's in your pride. He said, I'm going to give you cattle on 1,000 hills. But this temple,
We ain't bringing no food up in here for nobody to be champion, nothing. In here is pure righteousness when you come through them gates. You get your 1,000 cattle here, you barbecue over there.
Come on.
Let's get some more. Where we at?
It's the book of Barnabas, chapter 8. I mean, chapter 9. Excuse me. Verse 1. But why did Moses say, ye shall not eat of the swine, neither the eagle, nor the hawk, nor the crow, nor any fish that has not a scale upon him? Answer, that in the spiritual sense, he comprehended 3 doctrines that were to be gathered from thence.
See, so he used the word spiritual sense, so don't get your mind. No, see right there, he said you can eat a dog. No, he ain't said that. He said, get your mind on the spiritual, what I'm finna say. Get your mind on Acts 10. Just like I showed Peter. Get your mind on Acts 10. Go ahead, what else to say?
Besides, which he says to them in the book of Deuteronomy.
What book he say it in?
Of Deuteronomy.
See, so he going to law, ain't he?
Right.
Go ahead, what else to say?
And I will give my statutes unto this people. Wherefore, it is not the...
Is it?
Wherefore...
Okay, yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
Wherefore, it is not the command of Yah that they should not eat these things. But Moses in the spirit spake unto them.
So he said initially it wasn't about no physical diet. That's why we wandered in the wilderness and food was manifested to us supernaturally. See, it wasn't about because y'all left with no food. The little cattle y'all had, most of them died out. Y'all ate what y'all had. Y'all ate the supplies that y'all had. Now y'all ain't got no water, nor no food, and you screaming at Moses. He said, Moses, this is what I needed that wilderness for, to get them on the conscience. This is what this wilderness is for. We got smartphones. We got everything. There's no reason we shouldn't be at another conscious level right now. There's no reason. And you think about our foreparents that was in hard bondage. We still in bondage, but I'm talking about in the hard bondage. They couldn't do nothing but depend on faith. Because all they would get was the scraps from the master's table. Take it out there to them. They enjoy it. Leftovers like that, y'all. They bite off a piece of meat and put it back in the plate. They'll love it down there. Master gave me a half a hot dog bitten off of. You special then. Go ahead.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
Now the soul he forbade them to eat, meaning thus much, thou shalt not join thyself to such persons as are like unto swine.
So this was the whole deal, was to compare those meats initially to the swine, because we have to have them on earth. They have to clean the waters. They have to do that just like on the Flintstones. Even them cavemen had a pig under the sink, didn't they?
Yeah.
To catch all, he was the trash compactor. So it ain't like they don't know the language. It's there. That's all that pig under the sink was to do, to get the remnants of them dinosaur bones. And they had a bone big as a... Well, I had to ride it on the hood of the car. Brontosaurus burgers. Go ahead.
Who while they live in pleasure, forget their ale. But when any want pinches them, then they know the Lord. As the sow, when she as the sow, when she is full, knows not her master.
Y'all see that? He say that's what we're talking about. Men that get the law and turn back and go back to pig work. It's like, if you put a diamond in one of them big studs, the weigh your ear down in a pig ear, what are you gonna do an hour later but jump back in that mud pile? You can put them in Gucci, Wucci, dress that pig up, but if it see a pile of mud, you're gonna need a wash machine for them clothes he got on. Because they don't care. Once they get they full, they go back to where they was. That's why it says, thank the Lord after you have been full. They're unthankful. Man, I could have got that anywhere, man. I could have got that at Junebug Shack. That wasn't all that. See, and that's why we have to have people understand you're not coming to eat like no picnic when you come into these feast days. This is a doctor appointment. You have to get checked out first. And you have to let them know what doctor they're going to see. You already vetted. Look, bro, this was happening. You're going to see this physician. He's the master. He's the high priest. He's our rabbi. He's all of this. This the doctor you going to see today. And we need to get you understood on what breaking a break. But man, them other brothers told me y'all had lamb out there, man, and them sisters get them sides together, man. And Zeb go get wine. He got some kind of connection. I don't know how he get it. I can't find it. And then, so this what you coming here for? No, you here for the wrong reason. We here to celebrate him passing over us, that we are the descendants of those people of Egypt, and we got to this far in 2023. If you ain't here for that first, you wasting your time around these parts. Go ahead, what else to say?
But when she is hungry, she makes a noise. And being again fed is silent. Neither, says he, shalt thou eat the eagle, nor the hawk, nor the kite, nor the crow. That is, thou shalt not keep company with such kind of man as know now not how by their labor and sweat to get themselves food.
See, that's like a crow. See, those are birds of prey. He said, I gave y'all Genesis 3:17. I said a man got to work by the sweat of his brow. You hang around these type people, they don't want to go to work. They wait for somebody else to come out. Call you soon as you get off. You get off at 5, they call it 5:01 and 27 seconds. What's up, dog? What you got going? I'm going home. I'm tired.
What your wife cooking?
Yeah. Boy, see, that's what I'm saying. They wait on you to get off. They're feeding off of your work.
They depending on your table.
They depending on your table. He say that's like a raven. He say they don't hunt their own food. The Lord had to take care of them, but he will feed babies and foolish, as we speak. He feeds them though, but to their own detriment. They still looked at as hustlers, so to speak. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Just how like now we look at a raven, we look at it from the bad side. We have to first recognize why were they created, but we just focus on that bad side. But if you look at they pick up leftovers, then they say you can't hang around picking up of leftover people. See, because they're picked up leftover doctrines. They'll start finding doctrines on the internet. Different names of different groups.
This got a lot of meat on it.
Yeah, well, a lot of meat on here. Y'all, ain't some meat in here. Wait a minute. That doctrine say this.
Don't worry about that.
That Christ had to go to China to get some teachings. Oh.
Don't worry about that, boy.
So now he needs Bruce Lee to give him some instructions. When the Pharisees, who are Israelites, was stunned at how he knew his letters at 12. What you gonna send him to Bruce Lee for? You gonna bring that swine doctrine in here? And you think it's something new. That's swine doctrine. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 4 continues.
Yeah.
But injuriously ravish away the things of others, and watch how to lay snares for them, when at the same time they appear to live in perfect innocence.
That's a backstabber. That's mine own familiar friend.
Right.
They just raving, y'all. They just looking to what I can get out this situation. I'm going to move on. That's why most warlocks, when you look it up, is say an opportunist. He's looking for where I can put off this BS and see what I can get. Then I'm moving on to the next thing. Yeah, I learned a few things from y'all, but it's not putting that hustle money in my pocket. I got to go get hustle money. I need something that where I can put commerce over conscience. Conscience don't pay right off. So I'll attempt to sell my soul. I'll bargain it for some commerce.
Right.
Sick of conscience telling me it's okay that you broke.
Right.
Let's get some up.
Chasing that bag.
Chasing that bag. Go ahead.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
So these birds alone seek not food for themselves, but sitting idle seek how they may eat of the flesh others have provided, being destructive through their wickedness. Neither, says he, shalt thou eat the lamprey, nor the polypus, nor the cattlefish.
Nor the cattlefish. Somebody
Cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish. Somebody Google cuttlefish right now. You're gonna look like an octopus or a squid. Go ahead.
That is, thou shalt not be like such man, by using the converse.
To converse.
by using to converse with them, who are altogether wicked, and adjudged to death. For so those fishes are alone accursed, and wallow in their mirror.
Mire. Nor swim as other fishes, but tumble in the dirt at the bottom of the deep. See, he said you can't talk to anybody just in the mire, wallowing in the dirt. Bad doctrine. What you hanging around them for?
Right.
Ain't nothing, I grew up with them in high school, but what we're talking about is into fellowship with dirty doctrine.
Right.
Bottom of the Mississippi River doctrine. Fish flopping around. Why you hanging around them folks? See, this ain't an all-inclusive deal when you hear the word of the Lord. This is separation from the wheat and the tares. Anybody got that cuttlefish mindset? What does it say about a cuttlefish?
Cuttlefish or cuttleless are marine molluscus of the order Cepadia. They belong to the class of Cephala.
Octopus.
It's like an octopus.
Yeah.
Which also includes squid, octopus, and Natalius.
See, that's the cuttlefish. He's a mud dweller. Just like all the rest of them. They eat off the floor of the thing. It's a good thing when it first... Well, it's still a good thing now because you still have to eat jack salmon and tilapia.
Right.
So it's still a good thing, but it's saying when men champion that part and pull that into their diet, then they don't no more clean, they're not used no more for cleaning the doo-doo up anymore. They start to preach the doo-doo. That makes sense? You start talking a doo-doo doctrine.
And their mouth is like fingers.
Yeah.
Go grab
Yeah,
stuff.
you know what I'm saying? Grabbing it out of you, the spirit. Doo-doo doctrine. So you can't be like the cuttlefish. Go ahead, what else to say?
Verse 7.
Yeah.
But he adds, neither shalt thou eat of the hare.
The rabbit.
To what end? To signify this to us. Thou shalt not be an adulterer.
See, that's what the hare is compared to. And he finna explain it why we call the rabbit a hare. Now I want y'all to understand. Modern Christianity just had the rabbit or the hare in their doctrine.
Getting down.
They called it Easter.
Come on now.
Because they saw Easter in the Bible in Acts 16:4.
Eggs everywhere.
But Easter, when you look up the word, it means Paschal or Passover. Because the next verse saying those were the days of unleavened bread.
Right.
And also that's a whole different doctrine about the hare. And eggs are fertility. So when does a bunny rabbit lay eggs?
He don't.
See, that doctrine is they go from species to species. Because he'd have to have a chicken his way with a chicken to produce some eggs from like that. Or a chicken have his way with it. See, this is what he's comparing it to. So you want some parables? We'll give you some parables what not to be like. And why you shouldn't put it in you, because eventually you're going to become what you eat. Ain't that what it say?
Yeah.
You are what you eat. Right. See, we have to eat to live, not live to eat. I'm talking about you at Golden Corral helping them bring in supplies. They like, we ain't even open yet. Go ahead, bro.
Nor liken thyself to such persons, for the hare every year multiplies the places of its conception. And so many years as it lives, so many it has. Neither shalt thou eat of the hyena. That is, again, be not an adulterer, nor a corrupter of others. Neither be like to such, and wherefore so? Because that creature every year changes its kind.
What does it do?
Changes its kind. And is sometimes male and sometimes female.
Oh, y'all ever heard that about the hyena? It's male and female. No, let's just look it up.
Always laughing. Huh?
Right here. Look.
Got you.
Yes, sir. It do sound like they laughing, don't it? To stone your meat after you kill it. But look, y'all. I want y'all to Google this, because this ain't nothing new that he's writing. He's not saying anything crazy or like there's a hermaphrodite type of beast out there. But somebody Google me real quick. Penniform clitoris. I hate to use the term.
Oh, no.
P-E-N.
I ain't putting that in my Google.
P-E-N-I-F-O-R-M clitoris. I want y'all to just understand this, y'all, so we understand this scripture. Because it ain't nothing new that's uncommon to man. They already done studied this. What does it say that is, Tubai?
Oh, no, I ain't got it.
Oh, you ain't got it?
I
Why
got
you
a
know?
question in
Okay,
the
you
chat.
looking like
I'll
that.
break it
Okay.
down.
But I want somebody real quick. Google that for me. I'll Google it if y'all don't want to. Penius, P-E-N-I-F-O-R-M. Peniform. Clitoris, C-L-I-T-O-R-I-S. Baby Grace don't know what we talking about. See, we using high school words.
I'm still trying to spell it.
Huh?
Spell it again.
P-E-N-I-F-O-R-M. Peniform, C-L-I-T-O-R-I-S. What it say?
It says, it says the peniform clitoris of the spotted hyena.
Of the who?
Spotted hyena.
Ain't we on the hyena?
Yes.
Go ahead. What else it say?
It says the unusual interpretation is that this allows females to emulate masculinity in a society is matriarchal to an unusual degree among mammals, or more particularly that females have converged with males by having extremely modified genitalia. In various publications, the view is taken that the spotted hyena shows sexual monomorphism.
No, if you keep on reading, basically what it's saying, the female clitoris of the hyena is as long as the male's penis.
Right.
So they can't tell which one it is. It looks like male
Yeah,
and
that's what
female.
it says. It says, and the
But the-
peniform clitoris of the female mimics the penis.
See, it's the same length.
Right.
And the female's bigger.
Yeah.
Right, so now you can't tell. You say change, man, that wasn't, no. So this is what you have to understand. This is why he comparing it to this. But this information is already out there. So it looks male and female like he changed it, but it's just what the new transgender is trying to do now.
Right.
They're trying to grow their clitoris.
Hey, boy, that gives a whole new meaning to go blank yourself.
Boy. See, because now, look, because if a woman do this to a man, girl, he just this. But the transgender women, they try to grow, and I hate to use the word, baby Grace don't know what we're talking about, clitoris, and when they do this to another transvestite, they be like, oh, he's strapped, ain't he? She got a table leg. But see, when they do it like this, because it's supposed to be on this side, so they actually hope to grow like this so they can be like a man, like the hyena. We're switching it. I want to be like a male. And that's the thing they champion and say, ooh, I heard she got a big one. Y'all understand this, y'all? This is why we've reduced ourselves to animal levels.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about, a beast mentality. And this is what's being promoted into the world right now in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. Beast mentality. And guess what's coming next? Sex and marriage with the beast. So watch it. When Jay calls somebody a human hyena, they may be a hermaphrodite. And usually he calls them Freemason worshipers because that's a hermaphrodite. Baphomet. So you chase Baphomet, you want both of them as long as the other. Get out of Baphomet.
That's that mark of the beast, for real.
Boy, look here. Yeah, you sure will have a mark of the beast. You showing up like that.
They got a bill introduced to legalize
Bestiality.
marriage to a beast.
Well, look, y'all can see a movie called Splice. That thing they create turns from male to female. And it has sex with both the
And
people
her,
and it had them. Right. And then had an offspring, and now we got to wait for what comes after
Who's
that.
the mama, who's the daddy?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get some more.
We're in verse 9.
Yeah.
For which cause also he justly hated the weasel.
Who he hate?
The weasel.
Uh-huh.
To the end that they should not be like such persons who with their mouths commit wickedness by reason of their uncleanness.
See, that's a weasel. You know, when you hear people say, man, that's a weasel. You know, and we be wondering where them terms came from. All of it still come out of the scripture. Behavior like a weasel. Man, that nigga's a weasel. That means he can't be trusted or always stirring up something.
He's always conceiving something with his mouth.
That man the weasel.
Like that.
Weasel Jackson. But look, and people start to champion that beast mentality like it means good. Go ahead.
Nor join themselves with those impure women, who with their mouths commit wickedness, because that animal conceives with its mouth.
So now you look up that, and you say, does the weasel conceive with his mouth? And what it's talking about is what the weasel do. During that time, we can't get into it graphically because Baby Grace may pick up on that. But what happens is, what the dark side is trying to compare to, that Mary heard the angel say, you're going to conceive in your womb. And she said, be it so, Lord. And she conceived by hearing in her ear, because there was no man that penetrated her. So they reduced this to a B-side, the dark nations. And they try to compare it like that. But this is a whole nother different level. Wasn't no weasel talk here. But them camps that want to make Mary a whore and say Joseph is the natural daddy, look at her like a weasel. They talk about the mother of Messiah. His mama a hoe. Look, you can't have it any other way. If he was going to put her away privately, then that means he was worried about a fault. And he's a just man, so he knows the laws of marriage.
Yeah.
What he putting away for? And then Free Case rating them teach, who else lived in Judea? And all of them, Joseph, and they start clapping like Mary doing a booty call on the way to Elizabeth. I hear Joseph stay right there. I'm going to stop in. Joseph, how you doing? I'm the virgin. Come on in here. Y'all understand what we're talking about? Just because they mention the Messiah, what you're listening for is what priesthood? Do they ever mention the order of Melchizedek? Ever? Do they ever quote you Matthew 23 and 8 down? Call no man holy father, a high priest, or chief priest. Do they ever quote that? See, that's hyena doctrine. You're going to say the most righteous virgin woman is, see, but all women are like that to them. See, they don't even look at Mary in that light, because they look at, when they see a scripture say all women are wicked. But they're not reading before it or after it, who's given as a portion to a wicked man. See, so when they're not understanding that, y'all, this that hyena doctrine that wants Mary, the mother of Messiah, as the same as any other women. In the flesh, yes, she is, but put in the temple, groomed by angels. It said angels fed Mary. She was walking at 6 months. I'm talking about up steps. What you got, Emo?
I'm just agreeing with you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, go ahead. Read some more, bro.
Verse 10.
Verse 10. Moses, therefore, speaking as concerning meats, delivered indeed 3 great precepts to them in the spiritual signification. Thank you, my brother.
No problem.
Of those commands. But they, according to the desires of the flesh, understood him as if he had only meant it of meats. And therefore David took aright the knowledge of his threefold command, saying in like manner, blessed is the man that have not walked in the counsel of the ungodly. As the fishes before mentioned in the bottom of the deep in darkness.
And that's the scripture you happen to read. Go ahead, bro. The opening prayer. Go ahead.
Nor stood in the way of sinners, as they who seem to fear the Lord, but yet sin, as the sow, and have not sat in the seat of the scorners, as those birds who sit and watch that they may devour. Here you have the law concerning meat perfectly set forth.
What was it set? What?
Perfectly set forth. and according to the true knowledge of it. But says Moses, ye shall eat all that divideth the hoof, and cheweth the cud, signifying thereby such an one as having taken his food, knows him that nourisheth him, and resting upon him, rejoiceth in him. And in this he spake well, having respect to the commandment.
Having respect to what?
Respect to the commandment. What therefore is it that he says? That we should hold fast to them that fear the Most High. With those who meditate on the command of the word which they have received in their heart.
See, that's where we meditate on the law. You have to just think when other people boot and all that stuff, cross your leg and empty your mind out. What you meditating on but an empty head?
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's knuckleheadism, ain't it? The devil waiting to come in. You need a driver? Mm-hmm. Right. See, but when you're meditating on the law, when you just say law on it, you're just thinking about, oh, the law is so good. You can't empty your mind of the law of the Most High. That's why hypnotists and all them sites tell you, empty your mind out. Don't think about anything. What did this just tell us? To meditate on what? How you going to meditate on nothing?
Right.
Go ahead. Where else we at?
With those that declare the righteous judgments of the Most High, and keep his commandments. In short, with those who know that to meditate is a work of pleasure.
What is it?
A work of pleasure. And therefore exercise themselves in the word of Yahweh.
You're talking about mental gymnastics. You get your flesh ready, you got to get this ready. You got the mental this. You got to have all the weights on this, pushing them up in your mental. You got to do the top sit-ups.
The spiritual
or the whole stack.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What else to say?
Verse 19. But why might they eat those that clave the hoof? Because the righteous liveth in this present world, but his expectations is fixed upon the other.
That's why we seek that other rest. Is speaking of Hebrews 4th chapter. We in this present world, y'all, but we thinking outside this world. Go ahead. What else to say?
See, brethren, how admirably Moses commanded these things.
So it's telling you Moses on the mount before he come down, he was filled with Melchizedek, that trumped Aaron. At that point, even at the beginning of it, he was reading things way back from the beginning and comparing things and letting them know. That's way before Aaron, the schoolmaster. I got to give y'all all of this and bring y'all up to point. Talking about your nationhood, that's the last thing we do. See, once you go into the fight saying the first thing you say, I'm an Israelite to a group, the first thing they're going to do is in their mind, quickly, here's a hyena. Because of what they put out there, black Hebrew Israelites. Once you lay that on the line, and please don't put black on there, that means it's a religion. It's Hebrew Christianity. Because there ain't no nation of people called black.
Right.
And he was the son of Jacob, who was the son of Zephaniah, who was the son of black. Is that anywhere? See, so they automatically know they're listening for buzzwords too, because they know you don't have the faith once you say that. You preach the gospel of Christ, and I guarantee you it's been proven many times. When you get through preaching the gospel of Christ, you know what they're going to ask you? What denomination are you? No denomination. Well, who are you? What do you believe? Well, I believe, my tribal origin. I'm an American citizen, but my tribal origin, I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Oh, okay. So, see, now what that hyena doctrine do, all of that, he can't even use that anymore in his psyche because he said, I ain't heard nothing that I can go against now. I was locked and loaded. When you say black Hebrew Israelite, I'm bringing all of what's them groups called, the SL, the ones, the public, what do they call them? ADL and all of them, and that one group that lists trouble groups. Yeah. And they always have them listed by a color. So once these things start happening, you understand that, okay, this is where we at with this. This is where we at with this. And y'all, this is all he's trying to explain. This must rule this. If it goes the other way around, get ready.
Go ahead. What else to say?
Verse 20.
Yeah.
But how should we thus know all this and understand it? We, therefore, understanding aright the commandments, speak as the Lord would have us.
See, y'all see how the commandments ain't going nowhere. As long as you're able to speak God's commandments, it checks you and everybody else around you. It don't matter who it is. Because he dressed up and coming in with that hyena doctrine, you ready to fall over backwards? Mm-hmm. He laughing. Say, how he laughing? Got another one. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, man.
Is that it?
No. Wherefore, he has circumcised our ears and our hearts, that we might know these things.
So it ain't got to go to no special. He already, if you have an ear to listen, here. So y'all, we're going to run through a couple quick ones. And what I wanted to get on was about the raven. You know, because there's something very important about the raven. Even though it's an unclean bird, and why we shouldn't look at it as just that old dirty black raven, because they always in every Exorcist movie, ain't they? Ain't the raven always there?
Yeah.
Every movie that the devil in, there's supernatural things going on, demons showing up, they always show a raven. So if we will, y'all, let's just hit the raven real quick. Genesis 8 and 7. We're going to hit Job 38:41 and Luke 12:24. And what we want to do is just back up what Barnabas was saying. It's saying the raven, you can't have that mentality just feeding. You waiting on somebody else to go to work and then you get in on the feed. See, y'all, you can't have that mindset. You got to get past, it's one thing you need to know. So, man, where that script at? But you got to be able to understand it. So you don't get that weasel doctrine. If you let somebody else explain it to you. Right. They'll explain it weaselly. Is that a word? Yeah. Let's get it. Where we at? Genesis 8 and 7. We're going to run these one-liners, and then we're going to get to 1 Kings 17, y'all, and then we're going to close it out. We got a couple one-liners. That's it. Or homework, so to speak.
Genesis.
Okay, you got it there?
Yeah, I got it. Genesis chapter 8, verse 7.
He's just one line. You get that one. Yeah.
And he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. Also, he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her feet. And she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet another 7 days. And again he sent forth the dove out of the ark.
So what I want to really just expound on, he sent the raven out, which went to and fro until the waters were dried up off the earth. He didn't come back. Basically, he didn't have nothing to eat. So he wasn't going out there to see what Noah had him to go out there for to do, and that was to rest the sole of his foot on something. But they don't do no work like that. He was looking for a dead cow floating or something he could land his feet on. He never came back, which he probably found plenty of. So that let Noah knew that the waters were still up high. So then he sent the dove out, which is a sign of peace. And when the dove came back, he waited 7 more days. He sent him out again. He came back with an olive leaf. He said, okay, the waters then got below the trees. Even below an olive tree, which they only may get this high. So he's saying, yeah, the waters are off the earth now. But he sent the dove out as peace. The raven went to see where everything was still at. No, it's still a lot of stuff out there rotting and decaying, which the raven was going to do, but it was a good work. It let him know when to send the dove out. You understand what I'm saying? What else to say? Is that it? We can hold that. Yeah. Job 38:41. Just these one verse in Luke 12:24.
That was Job 38:41?
38:41.
Just the last verse in Luke 12:24. And it's going to match up with what Barnabas was saying. He's saying because the Most High feed his creation. Just because the raven don't hunt and is lazy, he still feeds it. Because his job is still to clean the earth. See, nothing can't just be slothful. It just waits to be fed. It waits on something to be killed. Then it go to work. But it's still completing a work. Because it's removing that dead squirrel out of your driveway before you get back home from work. See, so it's maybe cleaning up your mess. What it say? And that's why it's bad, because the Most High have it cleaning up mess. Who got it? Job 38:41, Luke 12:24.
Job chapter 38, verse 41.
Uh-huh.
Who provided for the ravens?
Who do what?
Provided for the ravens his food.
Uh-huh.
When his young ones cried unto Yah, they wandered for lack of meat.
Uh-huh. So right there it says, who provides the food for the ravens when his young ones cry? See, if we get into a beast mentality and we don't provide for our household, that's why we had to have the fatherless and the widow's house. Because who provided for them? The man gone and run off. Who provided for them? How they going to eat? Luke 12:24. You hit that 1 King 17.
Okay.
See, once again, we're going to see here that ravens are used for good and bad. Everything had a purpose. And the end of the day, the morning and the evening, and it was good. Right. It didn't say except for the raven, that was bad. Is that anywhere in the script? Except for this, it was bad. All days ended with good. What did it say in that Luke?
This is Luke chapter 12 and verse 24.
Uh-huh.
Consider the ravens.
Consider who?
The ravens.
Uh-huh.
For they neither sow nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barn. And Yah feedeth them.
What y'all do?
Feedeth them. How much more are ye better than the fowl?
See, he say, I'll feed what cleans up your mess. Because I have to feed it to clean up your mess. But how much more are you than the mess cleaner? Solomon say, you see, look, he said, you see Solomon the way he was raised, dressed up high end? Solomon was high end. He said, but look at the flowers of the field, how they tall. He say, Solomon ain't dressed like these no kind of way.
Right.
It's natural dressing.
Right.
Let's finish this 1 Kings off, y'all. We'll close on out. I'm going to give y'all a little homework to understand what he was also saying when he was talking about that whispering in Eve's ear, and they ate the fruit of unrighteousness. See, he whispered in her ear. That's why Paul says in 2 Corinthians 11, he seduced Mother Eve. He whispered conception in her ear. That's why her punishment was double for conception. That's why she went into 20. Multiple conceptions at birth. Could have had 4 or 5 babies at one time. That means 4 or 5 baby pains coming out. Because see, babies are supposed to be born with no pain. Pluka, and there they was. It's a boy. No pain. Like when the Messiah was born, no pain. Mary was sitting there chilling. No blood found or nothing. That's the way it was supposed to be. But when sin entered, now pain got to happen. And if you listening to 2 different men, you're going to have 2 conceptions. So to speak. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So double the pain for double the trouble. That's her punishment. What you got, Emo?
So how many babies did Eve had at one time? She had
They heard out of Eve had 30 sons and 30 daughters. Cain and Abel had twin sisters. Lulawa and somebody else wa. I don't know what was the other name.
Jubilees 4.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 17.
And we're just going to read a little bit of this, y'all, just concerning the raven's job with the righteous Elijah, who was on the run from Jezebel and her prophets after he killed, all them Baal priests, her priests. Go ahead, what it say?
I'm going to start the reading in verse 1.
Yeah.
And Elisha the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, as the Most High Yah of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. And the word of the Most High came unto him, saying, Get thee hence, and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook Cherith, and is before Jordan. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there.
The ravens gonna feed you there by the brook, but notice when we were talking about the wilderness scriptures earlier, bro, he said, by the brook, you'll drink from the brook. That's pure stream water, y'all. Look, we don't know for sure if this is purified water.
We know for sure it ain't.
Look, you know what I'm saying? But water out of a brook, clear stream water, it purifies itself rolling over the rocks. It purifies itself. This could be like don't drink your juice in the hood. Remember the one part when one dude saying we get the most fresh water out of this lake, and then they showed them dumping a body in the lake. We get the best water out of it.
That was something like a business.
What was it?
Something like a business. That movie, something like a business.
Could have been, yeah. We get the best water out of here, and he's promoting the water, and they dumping a body in it. He don't see it. 2 crime victims. You know they done killed somebody and dumping the body in there. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
So he went and did according unto the word of the Most High.
Yeah.
For he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning.
What did they bring him?
Bread and flesh in the morning. And bread and flesh in the evening. And he drank of the brook.
See, and he drank of the brook like he was ordered. So he waited on the ravens to bring him his breakfast and lunch. All they brought was bread and flesh. They could easily pick up what he needed already cooked and bring it to him and lay it down. Or he prepares the meat. But they brought it to him. But while they was using a raven, it threw them hunters off. Them Baal priests that's looking for him. Because they think only the ravens coming where the dead are. He ain't hiding over there. So they go another way. And while he chilling, he like, what y'all got me there? We got your 2-piece and a biscuit today. Okay, I'm going down, finish that up, I'm going down and get me a little brook water. It was good. And then they bring him his dinner. But they seeing the raven going this way, he's going to get some dead squirrel. He can't be over there, let's look over here. What else to say, bro? We're just going to read down to 10, if you're down to 10.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
And it came to pass after a while that the brook dried up, because there had been no rain in the land. And the word of the Most High came unto him, saying, Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee.
Y'all read the rest and you're going to see this exact story that everywhere he sent him, he was telling him, don't worry about it. I got you covered, bro. You did my work. You killed them Baal priests. I ain't going to leave you alone now because they hunting after you. It's a widow. And the widow didn't have 1 cruse of oil and just enough meal for her son only, and he was sick. Y'all understand what I'm saying? He was sick, so he sent Elijah there. And that multiplied like on the day of dedication. Like it only one day of oil lasted 8. This story reflects that when y'all continue reading. We just don't have time today. Y'all continue to read that and you'll get that understanding clear on why the raven was good and just not looking at him as a doo-doo or a messer up eater. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It has a different purpose for the good side. Right. It protected him because you're not looking at that. Look, because back in the day, Jeremiah in the 70s, he told you, Jeremiah, thou shalt hide in the steakhouse alley. Ain't nobody coming looking for you there. They may go around Grand or go back of Olive. Y'all see him running anywhere, and you right behind one of them dumpsters like this. They ain't coming down that alley, especially at night.
Not that alley.
Everybody knows about that.
Best steakhouse.
Well, they done cleaned the alley up now. It still have that look though.
Right. Got an eerie feel.
It's cleaned up pretty good down there.
Because they got the buildings there.
Yeah.
Trash cans dumped.
No, people live there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, so they done put
turned them into lofts.
turned them into lofts now.
They turned them into
Okay.
lofts.
They built to the alley, they turned it into loft.
Yeah.
It looked like a little more light back
But pre 70 and 80 steakhouse alley at night, most dangerous place on planet Earth.
And you go to the parking lot with that thing.
Y'all read the rest of that. We was gonna hold off on that. Y'all read homework a little bit of y'all read a little bit more of that. Y'all read all of that Barnabas 10th chapter because it speaks of the Messiah. We was gonna get into it and the faith of what all this is meaning. So y'all read that 10th chapter of Barnabas. But what I want to do is real quick these one-liners and we'll close out since we didn't read the rest of Kings or we're not gonna read Barnabas 10. So y'all read Barnabas 10, fill that on out, and then reread Acts 10th chapter, and you'll clearly understand now Peter rise, kill, and eat. What he meant, but make sure you get all the way over to the last verse, verse 28. But real quick, y'all, when we talked about the weasel, or which one was that it say it conceived through the ear? So, Genesis 3. Real quick, just a quick one-liner. And she saw that at thy conception, that's where I want, just where it says, and thy conception, he should put seed. So he conceived through her ear. Just like Mary conceived through hearing the word of the angel, you should have the Holy Son of the Most High. You're going to bear him. And she said, be it so, Lord. She conceived through hearing. Don't get your mind twisted like somebody was hunching in her ear. No, it wasn't that. Yeah, right. It was the hearing and conception went forth. So what at Genesis, I want that 3:16, what it say?
Unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy... No, that ain't what he wants.
Yeah, that's what I want.
That is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, because this the crime.
Right.
This what she done. This is what's happening about that because of what she heard. And she took of the tree and did eat. So she took in knowledge. She did eat. She ate that weasel food, that hyena laughing food. So she took it in. And then 2 Corinthians 11, 1 through 4 say, she was seduced.
Right.
So read what it said. And he said, I will put enmity between. Is that where it's at? Just get me past that point.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 16.
Yeah.
Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. And thy desire shall be to thy husband. And he shall rule over thee.
So we have to understand, and he said unto Adam, because you ate from it too. But verse 15 is what I want to go ahead.
And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
So there you got two seeds here. So there's spiritual seeds of conception to promote a lie and promote the weasel and hyena doctrine into the earth. And see, Greek nations and stuff used to take that, but they turned it vile. And they just made it more wicked and on a flesh level. And that's why the devil is called the whisperer. And look, most people tell you from what I hear, pimps can whisper the drawers off a woman. They don't have to get physical. They don't do nothing. Their game is that strong. See, they had no lacking in their macking. Because they just whispered it to them. They say, I'm not going to use up the product I'm trying to sell myself. I'm getting high on my own supply. No, I can't do that. Here's your mattress, and there's your alley.
Wow.
Get that baby from me. And she bring that baby back, and they got a bunch of George Washingtons on it, or Ben Franklins. That's the baby he looking for. You understand what I'm saying, y'all? Because this, y'all, is way greater. Last two, y'all, just one liner. We're going to close on out. Hosea 10:13, Proverbs 30 and 20. And y'all understand that hyena doctrine. That what he whispered that caused multiple conceptions. See, if she had sinned, then having two babies at one time would have never pained her. But I want y'all to think how a woman holler at one baby. Now you got another one coming. You gonna holler twice. And then the husband standing there looking, he said, I ain't gonna never be able again.
What am I gonna do with that?
What it say? Hosea 10:13.
Hosea chapter 10, verse 13.
In this one, we got kicked out the land for that adultery being whispered into our ear by our rogue Pharisee and Sadducee Hebrew priests. What it say, bruh?
Ye have plowed wickedness.
What have they done?
Plowed wickedness. Ye have reaped iniquity. Ye have eaten the fruit of lies.
What have you eaten?
The fruit of lies.
See, that's what Eve ate, the fruit of lies. He lied to her. And she gobbled it up. Sounds good to me. Sounds like hyena doctrine. He even do it just like that. Yeah, you right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why she said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. See, that's the conception mindset. When as soon as she did, she said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. Genesis 4 and 1.
Genesis 3 and 6 too, where she have eaten the fruit of
Yes,
lies.
sir. A fruit of lies. Now hit that last one, Proverbs 30 and 20. Because now we got that rabbiting going on. Like we just had what they call the resurrection and bring in Easter. No, you just producing a bunch of babies by chickens. A rabbit laying eggs. You're going to be hunting for boiled eggs. And a belly full of boiled eggs mean what? So,
I want to see you find some rabbit eggs.
look here. Oh, that's to be the tip of the day. Don't ride the subway. And you done ate some boiled eggs. Go ahead.
A bowl of ice cream.
Eggs and ice cream.
Boy, that's like birthday cake and Hennessy.
That sound
Go
like
ahead.
both of them sound like they stink.
No, they cause problems with purging in the drawer.
Gastrointestinal.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Proverbs 30:20. Y'all gonna close out with another eating, and we'll understand this clearly what Barnabas was breaking down before we get down to the flesh level of beast. Go ahead, what it say?
Book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 20.
What it say?
Such is the way of an adulterous woman.
Such is the way. Go ahead.
She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no wickedness.
So, see, so she eateth and wipeth her mouth.
Nothing.
Now, which mouth is it? The one south of the belly button or what? Because adultery is being made, but it's still hearing conception in her ear. He needs that baby to be born in wickedness. I need your thought while you're conceiving this baby, because when she's meditating still, she's meditating, all that information is going into the baby. So then you get that wicked from the womb. The baby ain't wicked like that. It's what it's made up, what this chromosomes is made up now. The thought process in it is of that nature. Because that's what she keep feeding in. So yeah, it's a child of the devil at that point. So y'all have to understand that clearly, y'all. But we're going to get on out of here, y'all. Too bad we got any questions out there before we get out of here. Homework, y'all. Finish on up with y'all Barnabas 10th chapter, then read Acts 10th chapter again. And go over the script that's already there, y'all. We get to some good understanding of what James meant in James 1:13. And when lust has conceived, what is lust? Sin, ain't it?
Desire.
Desire. If it's not the Most High. And sin bringeth forth what?
Yeah.
Death.
See, but hold on, read that for me just real quick. James 1:13. Because there's a specific word in there called conceive. See, and conceive means to make pregnant. Whenever you look up conception, it means to be made pregnant. So this is why it's troubling when you hear somebody say Joseph is the Messiah's daddy, because the angel had to tell him, it's not your conception. And that's what Joseph was saying. I know it wasn't my conception. It said the conception is of the Holy Spirit. He said, I hear that. Take her to wife now. So y'all understand what I'm saying? So this is a spiritual nature. When angels have to be sent to you, this way above flesh. What to say on that real quick, that
James 1:15.
yeah.
Then when lust hath conceived.
No, read back it up just to
13, yeah.
13, yeah.
Verse 13.
Yeah.
Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God.
Who tempted Eve? The devil. The Most High didn't tempt her. He said, I gave you my commandments. I whispered in your ear my commandments that will give you long life. But you didn't want to hear that. What else to say, bro?
For Yah cannot be tempted with evil. Neither tempted he any man.
Right.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
See, when he's drawn away, he drew Eve away. First thing he asked her was, what did God tell you? She told him exactly. I'm not to listen to you. I'm not to eat from you. I'm not even supposed to touch you. Right. And that's when he said, come on, girl, you going to miss out on all this weasel doctrine. Come on, don't you want to do a little hyena laughing? Come on, girl, you're going to live a boring life. What else to say, bro?
And enticed.
And then what?
And enticed.
She saw a tree, one to be desired, and she took thereof. What else to say, bro?
Then when lust hath conceived.
When lust has done what?
Conceived.
See, lust gonna make a baby. That's what conception means, to make pregnant. So when you that sin and made a baby of death, so to speak, you done sired spiritually a weasel baby. Go ahead. What else to say, bro?
It bringeth forth sin.
What it bring forth?
Sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
See,
read 12. Read 12.
It said got to have 12.
Read 12. We should have started there.
Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
Okay.
For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him.
See, y'all, see that conception? That's the conception we got to go off in the mental. You got to have righteous babies up here. You got to bear the righteous seed, y'all. That's what it means in your mental. Because a whisperer going to come. Yes, and he comes in your sleep. And he going to bring that rabbit looking like Beyonce or one of the other ones they show with their rear ends out. Kim Kardashian or one of them. Yeah. Come on, let's do a little weaseling in the wee hours. Don't do it, y'all. Don't do it. Any questions out there, too bad? Okay. All praises, y'all. Boy.
12 in the song, don't you?
You know what it's going to be? Poison. See, Bell Biv DeVoe.
Yes, sir.
You know that Ronnie DeVoe is the first cousin of A.Z. Ben Yehuda. Don't they look just alike? No, they daddies just come off the same plantation. No, yeah, that's that old. Well, see, that's what we talking about. Matthew 28:23. Don't call it nobody holy father.
Right, there was no rumors.
Yeah.
Heard it from me. All right, family. We're going to get this closing prayer.
Yes, sir.
And it is with the Most High's permission, and in the name of His only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior and our Redeemer,
Yes, sir.
Yahoshua HaMashiach.
Yes, sir.
But we know Him as Jesus the Christ, y'all.
Yes.
Long live the King.
Long live the King.
In the book of Psalms,
Read.
in the 62nd chapter, it reads, truly my soul waiteth upon Yah.
Yes.
From him cometh my salvation.
Yes.
He only is my rock and my salvation.
Yes, sir.
He is my defense.
Yeah.
I shall not be greatly moved. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man?
Yes, sir.
Ye shall be slain, all of you, as a bowing wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth,
Yeah.
but they curse inwardly. Say lies.
Selah.
My soul, wait thou only upon Yah,
Yes.
for my expectation is from him.
Yes, sir.
He only is my rock and my salvation.
Yes, sir.
He is my defense.
Yes, sir.
I shall not be moved.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In Yah is my salvation and my glory,
Yes.
the rock of my strength
Yes.
and my refuge
Yes,
is
sir.
in Yah.
Yes.
Trust in him at all times,
Yes.
ye people.
Yes.
Pour out your heart before him.
Yes.
Yah is a refuge for us.
Yeah.
Selah.
Selah.
Surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie. To be laid in the balance, they are altogether lighter than vanity. Trust not in oppression. Trust not in oppression.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And become not vain in robbery.
Yes.
If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. Yah had spoken once. Twice I have heard this.
Yes.
That power belongeth unto Yahweh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also unto thee, O Master, belongeth mercy.
Yes, sir.
For thou renderest to every man according to his work.
Come on.
Hallelujah. Selah.
Y'all got a shekel or two, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you, worldwide audience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hard up in there.
Yeah, man. Feeling on them things.
Yes, sir.
baby.
The spirit is feeling right there.
What's up, big boy?
How you been, bro? Hey, Lance,
What's up, man? What's up with you, man?
That's everything
Yes,
fighting
sir.
them demons.
I know. We be out of wilderness soon.